is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
With smartphones being such an integral part of our daily lives, it is truly an inconvenience when it doesn't work properly. It disrupts the normalcy of our day. When you go into the cell phone store to have it repaired, they just try to upsell you on a new phone. That's why the owner of iDrop, TKL, left those places and opened iDrop. His goal is a happy customer. TKL and the team will listen to what you have going on and work to solve the problem of your broken device in a way that best suits your needs, instead of trying to upsell you on something that you just don't need. They don't just repair phones, they can service your laptop or PC as well as your Mac. Windows 7 support is over, but iDrop can help you transition to Windows 10. They have a 5-star rating on Google with hundreds of positive reviews. Let me say that again. I don't think y'all understand how big this is. They have a 5-star rating on Google. Their customer service really speaks for itself. So if you ever find yourself with a device that isn't performing as it should, give iDrop a call at 865-888-9740 or check them out on Facebook at iDrop of Knoxville. If man made it, they can fix it.
Deep down the middle's got his man, and he's gone. Jason Swain, touchdown.
It's time for the Swain Event with your host, Jason Swain.
My man.
Real sports talk for the real sports fan.
All you chumps are gonna bow when I whoop him.
It's time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End BBQ.
Give me 2 pounds and a Ric Flair.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End BBQ, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Hope you are having a great morning. Jason Swain, live from the Low T Center studio. 865-255-03 is our telephone number. The great Ben McKee, good morning, sir.
Oh, good morning, Jason Swain. I'm jacked up about today. I am fired up, as Turkey Man would say. I'm far. Did I do the fart?
Fart.
Kind of sounds like I said fart, but I'm not. I'm fired up today. Today's a big day. is in action tonight. They begin their 3-game series with Kentucky. That'll be a fun series. Tennessee is the better baseball team, but Kentucky is a solid baseball team, so not a team that Tennessee can just vaguely show up and expect to just. Not that they should do that against any team, but Kentucky is definitely better than Texas A&M, so Tennessee will have its work cut out for them today, tomorrow, and on Saturday. Also believe we're going to get a little bit of rain around first pitch, so that'll be fun. So we got baseball. Tennessee got its quarterback. The NFL draft is tonight. The Steelers are going to draft the missing piece that's going to lead them to win a Super Bowl next year. It doesn't matter if it's Landon Dickerson along the offensive line. It winning a Super Bowl, so I look forward to the Steelers drafting that piece tonight. Obviously, that just means that they'll win the Super Bowl this time next year. And then how about Rick Barnes and Justin Gainey and Rod Clark speaking with the media? Very insightful. Brandon Huntley Hatfield. Jonas Adu. I was corrected yesterday by Justin Gainey, which is a good thing. It doesn't bother me that I'm corrected when I pronounce somebody's name.
Yeah, when you don't want to say dude's name wrong for 3 years.
Correct. I was going Jonas just because Jonas Valanciunas plays for the Grizzlies, and it's spelled the same. Maybe shame on me for assuming a guy from Serbia. I think he's from Serbia. I don't know. He's up from overseas.
What kind of fan are you?
I get them mixed up, if I'm being honest. That may sound very bad. Maybe I shouldn't admit that, but I get some of those countries kind of mixed up. But
about to cancel you.
I know. I'm about to get canceled.
I'm about to cancel you, Ben.
So it's spelled the same.
I got my hand on the button. I'm about to cancel you.
So I thought it was Jonas. And again, shame on me for assuming that it would be pronounced the same between a white man from overseas.
That's it. You're canceled. You're canceled right now.
And a black kid from Charlotte, North Carolina.
You're canceled. No,
so
no, you can't say that, dude.
Jonas. The J is pronounced as a J and not as a silent Y. So thank you to Justin Gainey for correcting that. But a lot going on, Swain. A lot going on. I thought Josh Heupel couldn't recruit.
Tennessee has brought in 2 quarterbacks in the last 2 weeks.
And 2 really good quarterbacks. No. Swain. Joe Milton committed on Monday. So 2 quarterbacks this week.
Hey, man. You want to play quarterback? I think there's a spot at Tennessee for you. Straight up business move. Before we get started, man, happy anniversary to my wife. I need to talk to my Eckler about what temperature chili is appropriate.
How hot is your chili today?
I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's why I'm going
to talk to Eckler about the appropriate temperature for chili.
You're supposed to say it's all the way hot. Come on now.
It's hot.
You're a veteran in the game. You're supposed to know this.
It's hot. I'm not used to talking about hot chili and stuff. This is new to me. That's all I'm saying.
But you like cooking chili.
I do, actually.
Well, happy anniversary to you and the missus.
Yeah. So I was wrong on how many years this was yesterday. I said it right today.
How many did you say yesterday?
8.
And it's 9?
It's 9.
Oof.
But she don't know I said 8 yesterday.
So you self-recognized.
So I said it wrong to you guys, but I said it right to her, so that's all that matters.
Correct.
And she smiled. I was right.
Yes, he remembered this year.
Number 9.
My thing is, if you're struggling to remember at 9 years,
I wasn't struggling to remember.
What is it going to be like at 19 and like 29 years?
No, here's the reason why you can say I struggle. We got married one year, had the wedding the next year. So we both sometimes are like, is it 9? Is it 9? 7? Is it 8? Is it 9 or 10? So
well, don't you count from the day y'all got married?
Yeah, the day we got married, not the actual wedding. So sometimes I think about the wedding, and then I have to correct myself, and I'm like, no, it's the date we got married. It's the day we got married. So, anyways,
happy anniversary, and meant to do this yesterday on the shout outs. A happy belated birthday to our very own Brad Matthews. Brad Matthews had a birthday yesterday.
Brad getting old, man. Getting fat, gray hair.
Well, he's about to get really fat, and he's about to have a head like mine here. Gray hair.
No hair.
Yeah, no hair. Brad has announced this, so I don't think that he would mind me sharing, but he and his wife are expecting here over the next couple of months. So the wifey got him a really cool father. He got a T-shirt, and the baby has a onesie that's matching, golf-related, that his back nine buddy or something along those lines. So really cool. But shout out to Brad Matthews. Happy birthday. He's a great dude. He'd be one of the best dudes I would know if he weren't a Baltimore Ravens fan. But he's still a great dude, and I hope he had a happy birthday.
You are the father. Congratulations, Brad. You the pappy.
You better start sleeping while you can.
You ever seen the movie Life?
Probably.
Eddie Murphy.
Oh, yeah.
Martin Lawrence.
Yeah, yep. I've seen it. Been a while, but I've seen it.
I'm the pappy. That's Brad Matthews. All right, man, enough laughing.
Well, all I know is I need my friends around me to quit having babies. That's all I know.
You better watch out what kind of water you drink.
You're putting pressure on your boy.
That's probably why you drink your own water and not the water from my house. Because I know how to make some babies now, Ben.
Your chili stays hot.
I got 3.
Chili stays hot.
Enough laughing.
But I want to laugh today.
Enough joking, Ben. I got to make a serious service announcement. Public service announcement. PSA.
Somebody said you could blame you for getting on COVID. Just blame it on COVID. COVID year.
I could do that. But that ain't going to work. Wifey still want her presents. Still want her card. Anyways. Yesterday. Now I heard that Tavin Jackson was going to pull the trigger and pick Tennessee. I had heard that after the show. Very excited about it. Very happy about it. I had asked around. I was like, man, can he throw it? Can he throw it? My goodness. Have you seen this kid's workout video? You see him throwing the ball?
I know this is not football related, but I've also seen him play some basketball.
Oh, we getting there.
He is just a freak athlete.
We getting there. You see him just throw the ball? Got the honey badger hairdo. The ball jumps out of his hands. Oh my God, the boy can throw the ball. He can zip it. My goodness.
To your point about the football jumping out of his hands, in the impact analysis that Rob Lewis wrote for us on VolQuest, one of the things that he wrote about is the thing college coaches love about his game is his release and just how smooth and how quick that football comes out of his hand. College coaches love it.
Man. And he's a heck of an athlete. He does it all. He's the man in his hometown. He does it all.
Well, you know the thing that I love the most about him, Swain, and I'm sure you're getting to this point, but the thing that I love most about Tavin Jackson isn't the athleticism at 6'5", 195 pounds.
He answered the phone when you call?
No.
That's the most important thing?
No, he actually ghosted me.
I'm just kidding.
I'm not.
You hurt?
Yes, I'm sour.
He hurt you?
He plays in the highest classification of football in the state of Indiana, and he has won back-to-back state titles. Indiana high school football isn't Florida, Georgia, states like that. But to win back-to-back state championships at the highest classification and be the guy that leads the way for your team is ultra impressive to me. Tennessee is getting a winner, and it honestly, folks may get mad at me for this comparison, Swain. You ready for this? Folks, I don't know that folks are emotionally stable to handle this comparison. Baker Mayfield was exactly what the Browns needed from a mentality standpoint, from a pure fact that he's just a winner. They needed that mindset. They needed that culture that Baker Mayfield brought. I feel like Tavin Jackson could do the same for Tennessee.
That's not crazy. That's pretty spot on.
You hear Browns and think of all the quarterback struggles they had, and they were bad.
That's because people can't focus.
So long.
That's because people don't listen. If they take anything away other than what you just said, that means they don't listen and they have ADD. They need some medicine, because you didn't say anything about anything else besides bringing a winning culture to a program that has not won. That's it. That's the comparison.
Yeah, I mean that's the root of the comparison. Is the Browns needed Baker Mayfield's mindset. Tennessee needs Tavin Jackson's mindset.
I mean, you can make the same case that Harrison Bailey has that mindset.
Yes.
The tools may be not comparable to Tavin Jackson, but the mindset is he works his tail off. He carries himself like a champion. He's used to winning. Harrison Bailey's the same way. He really is. He has that mindset. So, yeah, Tennessee needs more of that. That's why you wanted to get Mackenzie Milton from Central Florida, because he's a champion. He's a winner, even though he basically only has like 1.5 legs. But it's the mindset. And this program needs that. This program needs that, man. We got players out here tweeting about Ain't Your Team. We got players out here tweeting about 7-on-7 organizations. Like, our focus, our leadership is not where it needs to be, because we don't have it. We need some more alphas. We don't have any alpha dogs. We need it. So, no, that's a heck of a comparison. Tavin Jackson plays basketball. He runs track, and he plays quarterback. He does it all. He competes. But yesterday I got word that he's going to be evolved.
It's good to know people.
No, it is good to know people. Good to know more than one person. It's good to know multiple people. It's a good thing when more than one person, or more than one, tell you that the player is going to go to Tennessee. So I was like, cool, awesome.
I found out that Tavin Jackson was going to be involved yesterday too when he tweeted it out on Twitter.
Whatever, man. So
just like you did.
No, all right, whatever. You ain't slick. So when I caught word that he was going to come to Tennessee, the last possible thing I thought about doing was telling everybody about it. Why? Because it was Tavin Jackson's moment. It wasn't Jason Swain's moment. It wasn't Ben McKee's moment. It was Tavin Jackson's moment. You only get one opportunity to do this. One. It's supposed to be one. Now, we see some kids decommit, commit, decommit, commit. You see some couples break up. You see one guy get married, divorce, married, divorce. See some females married, divorce. But you only get one first commitment. First commitment. It's your moment. And I got a lot of respect for the recruiting analysts. I got a lot of respect for the recruiting organizations. I know they put in a ton of work. I understand. I know they compete, and I know it's very, very competitive. And anytime you can come out with something that's new and innovative and, engaging, man, it's you want to do it. This is no slight on any particular organization, any particular analyst. But I'm damn sick and tired of the crystal balls in a future cast. I'm over it. These student athletes, you need them for your business. Man, these kids are going to camps, they're going to class, they're playing their seasons, and your business don't survive without them talking to you. If there was a situation where one would need the other more than the other, it would be the recruiting sites need the players more than the players need the recruiting sites.
For a guy like Tavin Jackson, that is definitely the case. There's some
maybe, but overall,
yes,
if you good, they're gonna come find you.
Yes, correct.
For the most part, the recruiting sites need the players.
Yes,
for the most part,
you're right.
The businesses are created because of the players. They don't pick up the phone, you ain't getting no quotes. You ain't getting no quotes, you ain't writing no story. You ain't writing no story, ain't nobody paying $10 a month for access to recruiting. So I just think, man, these young kids are basically making your business. You call them all types of time of the night, in the morning, for just one moment, just for one time. One time. If you know where kids are going to go, man, don't be spoiling it for the kid the day of. The day of.
To me, it's not even the day of. It's like the week of. Like crystal balls and the forecasting on rivals. Like they're fine if it's like months in advance, but it's when you do it the day of and the week of when they have zero forecasts or crystal balls to their name, that they have zero the week of the commitment, the day of the commitment, and that's when it changes for me. I mean, like you were saying, you just got to let the kid have his moment.
We got to have boundaries, man. We're seeing boundaries being crushed in all areas around us, man. There's decency is no longer here, it seems like, man. The things that you wouldn't say to people just say it now. Like, where's the boundaries? Things that you would, how you would talk to a female. Man, there was a time when, man, you just didn't talk to a female any type of way, man. You showed a level of respect. There was a time where you wouldn't talk to another male in a certain type of way. There's a level of respect. Now, you're not gonna get your lip busted for talking reckless. So people just talk reckless behind a keyboard. They just talk because they know they could do that. There's no boundaries anymore. It's bled over into politics. Like, are they even on the same team? Sometimes I wonder, are the politicians even on the same team? Do they even want the same thing? Are we part of the same country here? I wonder that sometimes. Like, decency and boundaries, man, they've been crossed. The things that are said on air about other folks, like, it's crazy to me. And I'm sitting here like, yo, are we at the point where these young men busted their butt for so long, they give you interviews? Are we to the point where just for this one moment, we can't let that kid have his moment? And this is to the entire recruiting industry. This ain't just to one entity, one company. Like, I just think we need to take a step back. You get so caught up in competing that you don't realize, I'm outside the boundaries. You get into a fight. You're wrestling with the other person. You're wrestling, and then you realize, oh my gosh, I'm on the edge of a cliff. You're not paying attention because you're so caught up in the fight. You're so caught up in the competition. You're so caught up in competing. But you don't realize, like, you're about to be outside the boundaries, both of y'all. And that's where we are right now in the recruiting game. There got to be some boundaries, man. I just think it's only right. Without me, you don't have a business. At least for one opportunity, at least for my moment, man, let me have my moment. If I want to. Some folks don't care. Like, when I was a recruiter, I didn't really care.
But even though you didn't care, the people around your recruitment still should have allowed you to have your moment.
Yeah, but I mean, obviously the crystal ball thing is a newer wrinkle.
And the Rivals forecast.
Yeah, it's a newer wrinkle. So, like, you know, when I was coming out, like, I made my Tennessee visit. I told folks I was going to Tennessee. I did Georgia after that, and then the week after Georgia, I made my commitment. I didn't care who knew. I just wanted to be over with. I was done. I was tired of recruiting. But I just think this is a boundary that's been crossed that I think everybody needs to kind of get back in line. Like, let the kids have their moment. Blow them up 10 o'clock at night. Blow them up all times of the day, getting interviews, getting quotes. Cool, whatever. Kids probably like it too, but don't ruin the dude's moment, man. They work so hard for that.
Yep.
And if you don't like it, you don't agree, I don't really care. I just think it's only right to let a young man, let a young lady, if she wants to surprise folks, let them do that. Let them do that. You can have both. You can have your forecast, your crystal ball, but if you don't know the day of, don't be trying to act like you're an expert by throwing it in the day of. Like, it looks pathetic, honestly.
Yeah, that's not making a prediction. That is spoiling.
Yeah, man, it's a little silly, man. So that's been on my chest.
Your butt. Well, it's been on my chest for a while as well.
You just be quiet, man. Because you employed by one of them.
I'm aware. What I was going to say is that there are also media members who like to drop comments and hints on social media that are doing the same thing that the Rivals forecast and the crystal ball does in terms of ruining a moment. So I'm lumping those people in as well. Don't sit there and tweet out, "Oh, I'm hearing Tavin Jackson is going to pick Tennessee today," or drop little tidbits like that, because that's also ruining a kid's moment.
Yeah,
that has been a thing as well. People like to get on because they see it on one of the sites, and then they like to go on and get on Twitter and say, "Oh, I'm hearing that such and such is going to commit to such and such today." That is also ruining a moment.
Yeah,
that does not need to happen.
But that don't bother me as much as
the same thing.
Yeah, but one is a media member that covers like Tennessee, so it's not like the whole entire world knows, Jason Swain, right? Or Ben McKee.
Yes, they do.
You hope so, but that's different than ESPN or Rivals or 247, where like the entire country goes to that one place for recruiting, and their entity. It's still different for me than just one person saying it. But I just truly believe in not ruining a young man's moment. But if you are in a position as a media member and someone flat out asks you, one of your listeners, one of your consumers, just straight up ask you, you have to answer the question. And while answering the question, you can pull out an Austin Price, which is, Tennessee is trending well. Tennessee's in a good position. So there are media members that are asked and put in that position where they have to answer the question. And that's why I give them more grace than I give like the recruiting services, because the recruiting services, they don't have to do what they're doing. Like, we'll just fall back, man.
Neither does the person tweeting. It's all the same to me.
Yeah, it's different to me. Same to you. Definitely different to me. Hour one is brought to you by Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Tennessee got a commitment at quarterback. Tennessee basketball assistants talking. You got Tennessee baseball. Get back on track, hopefully against an SEC foe in Kentucky. Lots to get to today. Peyton Manning involved a little bit. I like it. Where was Peyton this weekend? I didn't see Peyton. Was Peyton around? I didn't see Peyton. Probably why Tennessee won. That's probably why Tennessee won the orange and white game, because Peyton wasn't around. Just joking. I'm just joking. Don't try to take my VFL card. 865-255. Be right back.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill or call 865-693-5400.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End BBQ is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End BBQ delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End BBQ, the search is over.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to ofonox.com. That's ofonox.com.
JC's Tree and Landscaping Service specializes in quality tree work done at an affordable price. Trimming and removing trees are their specialty. They also offer other services like land clearing, stump grinding, crane services, and all of your basic landscaping needs for both commercial and residential. JC's will give you a free estimate and beat any written quote by a competitor to guarantee that you get the lowest price around. Don't risk your land with a fly-by-night service. JC's Tree and Landscaping is licensed and insured. Give them a call at 865-599-3799.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.
This is Tennessee. There's not a valid reason why Tennessee shouldn't have quarterbacks out the wazoo. Peyton Manning. Tennessee should be using Peyton Manning when it comes to quarterbacks every single year. No one has a prestigious quarterback camp like the Manning Passing Academy. This was going on when Peyton and Eli was playing. High school quarterbacks all over the country would go to the Manning Passing Academy, and he would bring in different counselors, aka college quarterbacks, that would go and help. No reason why Tennessee shouldn't have the inside track when it comes to quarterbacks. When you have a guy like freaking Peyton Manning, he's not doing anything now. He is, but he's not playing football. He has more of an interest in Tennessee football now than ever before. He's built a restaurant right here in Knoxville on the Strip. There's no reason why Tennessee shouldn't be signing the top quarterbacks each and every year. And when I say top quarterbacks, it's not necessarily the number next to the name, the ranking. It's the best quarterbacks in the country, regardless of the ranking. Tavin Jackson from Indiana? Oh, man. Come on, man. That's a layup right there. Peyton Manning he's an all-time governor of Indiana. He built Lucas Oil Stadium. Tavin Jackson let the coaches know after talking to his parents, Ben.
Yeah, that was the other favorite thing about Tavin Jackson for me, just kind of reading up on him, and credit to Austin Price for getting us some quotes there at VolQuest, and because he's out on the road, he had me type up the story, but those are all Austin's quotes that he got. But in reading and listening to Tavin Jackson's quotes, I mentioned earlier my favorite thing about Tavin Jackson was that he plays in the highest classification in the state of Indiana, and he's won back-to-back state championship games, state titles. My other favorite thing was Austin asked Tavin Jackson how he came to this decision and what made him want to commit to Tennessee, and he said that he and his parents were talking, and he told his dad that he wanted to go to Tennessee. He thought Tennessee was the place for him, and his dad agreed that it would be a good fit for him, but it was his decision to make. And
love it, Dad. Love it.
And so they got on a Zoom interview just to talk to Josh Heupel, not talk about committing, but just to talk to Josh Heupel one more time to kind of get that reassurance, I guess. And in the midst of that Zoom call or phone call or whatever, Tavin Jackson looked at his dad and said, yeah, this is a place I want to go. And this is what I like second most about Tavin Jackson and his family. When Tavin Jackson said it a second time that he wanted to go to Tennessee, Tavin's dad said, okay, well, you call all the coaches that recruited you and tell them where you want to go. And then you call Tennessee and let them know that you're wanting to get in the boat. I thought that was really cool.
It's classy.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Absolutely. Very classy. So they made that decision, and Wednesday morning, Tavin Jackson gave Josh Heupel a call and said that, Coach, I'm going to need to buy some gear because I'm ready to come home. And he said that Josh Heupel lost his mind, and so did the rest of the coaching staff. And to what you were saying about Peyton Manning, Josh Heupel was telling Tavin Jackson that even Peyton was asking Heupel when he was going to get that 2022 recruit. He was referencing Tavin Jackson, and Josh Heupel told Peyton that they were working on it. And then Tavin Jackson hops in the boat, and Tavin thought it was pretty cool that even Peyton was asking about Tavin.
I got some gear. I got some Tennessee gear for Tavin Jackson. I gotta sell it to you though, because I can't be getting in trouble. So it's on sale. I will sell it to Tavin Jackson for $1.
$1.
And the rule is you have to sell it to a recruit with the same value that you would sell it to anyone else. So I would sell it to Tavin Jackson for $1. I would sell it to Chip Payne for $1, and then I would send him a request through Cash App for $200 later. But for Tavin Jackson, I won't send him the Cash App invitation. I won't send him an invoice later. I'll just take the $1 and that would be it. But I have this baseball jersey that's an extra medium. I'm pretty sure that Tavin Jackson can fit into it, even though he's taller. But I think he can fit into it, man. He's lean, plays basketball, he runs track. He's lean. He's gonna put on some pounds when he gets here to Tennessee. He'll do that. But I have a baseball jersey for you, Tavin.
Wouldn't that be against the rules since you got the baseball jersey from Tennessee?
It's mine now. It's mine. It's mine now. Yeah. Yep. And I'm selling it to him, so it's cool. I just have to be willing to sell it to someone else for the same price. It can't be extra benefits. That's the rules. I can't claim we had a prior relationship because, I don't really know him like that. I don't have any family in Indianapolis or Indy or anywhere up there. Now, I got family in Chicago, but not in Indiana unless some of those family members moved, which would be like North Indiana, like right there next to Chicago. But I can't use that, so I can just sell it to him for $1. That's what I could do. Ben, what are you willing to sell for $1? Tavin Jackson. You can't do that, though. You super professional and stuff now. You can't do that. You can't do that.
I am an Army football fan, although I am distraught because it looks like Jeff Monken is going to be taking the Kansas job.
Why, Jeff?
Why? I don't know. Why? Why, Jeff? Why, Jeff? Why do you have to leave us at Army for Kansas? For Kansas. I can understand just about any other school, but you're leaving Army for Kansas. They suck. They are booty terrible. They are a bunch of swamp donkeys.
Wow.
They're terrible. They're soft and terrible.
Wow.
Just why? Now, I can understand it from Kansas's part. I think if this turns out to be true, and it does happen, home run hire for Kansas. Bringing the triple option, which I think it's obvious they need to do something different like the triple option.
It's partly Tennessee's fault.
Jeff Monken is a winner, will bring a winning culture.
It's probably Tennessee's fault while Jeff Monken is at Kansas. You do realize that's right.
Why? Because Tennessee did not hire Jeff Monken?
Tennessee tried to hire Dave Dorn, Ben. We tried to hire Dave Dorn. We had Dave Dorn out here publicly declining us and turning us down. This is why Danny White said that he only offered the job to Josh Heupel, even though he tried to talk to other coaches. He didn't officially offer them because they weren't officially ready to accept. So until you are officially ready to accept, I'm not going to officially offer you, which means I can say I didn't offer you. But Dave Dorn is the reason, dude. It's Tennessee's fault. The Tennessee basically asked every coach in America if they wanted to coach in Tennessee. They said no. Dave Dorn, with the NFL roster, lost 4 games in the ACC and told Tennessee no. When that happened, Jeff Monken was like, I know I ain't going to get no job. I know I ain't going to get an SEC job now. I know I ain't going to get a job. My days of getting a big-time job is over. They tried to give the job to Dave Dorn instead of me. I'm going to be Army forever. And then Kansas came calling. He was like, well, this is my only way out. If Dave Dorn's getting offers instead of me, I'll never get a big-time job in the SEC. I might as well go to Kansas. That's what happened. It's Tennessee's fault. He said, we got to know from Dave Dorn. Has anyone tried to hire Dave Dorn since or before?
He was linked to another job because remember he was expected to we need NC Mack to chime in on this conversation and help us, but I believe they had a decent season this year. I may be off on that, but I feel like they had a decent year, 5th in the Atlantic Coast, so maybe they did not have this.
No, man. No. The Benz 84 says, "What's a swamp donkey?" We don't even know.
We don't know. I just know Triple O says it, and it's degrading.
Yeah.
So
it sounds really bad. So that's why Ben used it. We
Virginia
have no idea what it is.
Or Virginia, NC State went 8-4. So
yeah, they went 8-4 with a bunch of first rounders one year too.
Correct, but my point is NC State was expected to be really bad this year.
Yeah, and they were expected to be really good. It had the same record.
Okay. My point is that he overachieved this past season, and I believe he was linked to a job. I don't remember which job, but because
maybe it was Kansas.
No, it was like South Carolina or somebody like that.
Oh man. All right, let me stop.
Would you rather have Dave Dorn or Jeremy Pruitt?
Boy, you know I would rather have Dave Dorn.
All right.
Dave Dorn! Come on down, Dave Dorn. John K. SC says a swamp donkey is the insult of insults. That's all you need to know. B-Rad says, if you won't buy it for $1, I'll buy it for $1. Yeah, B-Rad. I'll sell it to you for $1 too. Wink, wink. John K. says the NCAA will give us another year on bowl ban, Jason, and we all know this. No, they won't. They'll just add another year to Nintendo's show calls. That's what they'll do. Fallstorm says, I will block all requests after the transactions take place. No paper trail. Swain, he don't wear a 2X. I bet you would give your Georgia gear too. Don't have any Georgia gear, Chip Payne. Brian Malone, man. You and me both, dude. You and me both, Brian Malone. John K. says, dang, this guy's classier than Jason Simpson, and he ain't even a coach. Boy, will you pass the collection plate on that point, John K. Pass the collection plate. I got a whole $1 for you right here, man. I got a whole $1 for that collection plate right there. That's a good point. You would think a college coach with a son going through recruiting would handle it better than what the Simpsons did, but no, they did not. The dad with no coaching experience handled it better. It's a great point, John K. 1,000%. 865-255-03. Be right back.
I'm Vince Moore, wide receiver, VFL 1991, and you're listening to the Swain Event.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Top 100 Barbecue restaurant Dead End BBQ is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End BBQ delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End BBQ. The search is over.
We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss stem cell treatment and PRP. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
That's right, Jason. We specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints by using ultrasound-guided injections with stem cells or PRP. And this form of treatment actually stimulates the body's own reparative process and allows for healing of the damaged tissue.
So, Doc, what makes your training different than others?
Well, Jason, I've been practicing in Knoxville for 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. So unlike the big seminars that will advertise stem cells, fly someone in for a couple hours to talk about supposed stem cells that you order off of a shelf, then they'll depart, leaving the patient wondering who will be the person injecting me and what their level of training is. At Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own bone marrow stem cells or PRP. So in other words, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. East Tennessee's leader in PRP and stem cell therapy. Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Around the SEC, here on the Swain Event. Swain Event is fueled by Dead End BBQ, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. It is Ben McKee, Jason Swain here on your beautiful Thursday. Right up against it at the top of the hour, we have Around the SEC. After Around the SEC, at the top of the hour, we will be joined by Austin Price of allquest.com to talk about Tennessee's latest commitment at the quarterback position and the addition of Joe Milton. Tuesday had some technical difficulties. Austin is traveling, crisscrossing the country to bring you recruiting coverage, and so had some connection issues there with his phone. But we're good to go now, hopefully. And we'll be joined by Austin at 8 a.m. But now it's time for Around the SEC. Ben, what do you got?
Texas A&M defensive coordinator Mike Elko, who has been one of the top candidates for the Kansas head coaching job, plans to remain at Texas A&M. This is obviously big for Jimbo Fisher and Texas A&M, with Jimbo being an offensive guy. Mike Elko is the head coach of the defense, and led by Elko, A&M had the top-ranked defense in the SEC last season, and it looks on paper as if A&M's defense is going to be good once again. Speaking of A&M, wide receiver Cameron Buckley has entered the transfer portal. He missed last season due to an injury, had 11 catches in 2019 and 34 catches in 2018. And how about Buzz Williams? And Texas A&M basketball, they picked up a transfer from Duke transfer Henry Coleman. So a lot of attrition there at A&M, and they pick up Henry Coleman. I'll be honest, I'm not very familiar with Henry Coleman's.
Who that? I never heard of Henry Coleman.
A former top 100 prospect, Henry Coleman. I'm not all that familiar with his work, but in the 2020 class, he was ranked as the number 55 overall prospect and the number 9 power forward. Saw limited time a year ago while averaging just over 1 point and 1 rebound per game.
Yeah, man. Even Coach K strikes out.
Yep, that is definitely a strikeout. So it was a busy day yesterday for Texas A&M athletics. LSU was also in the news. They released
again
Kim Mulkey's, your favorite Coach Evers, contract details, and she has received an 8-year deal that will pay her at least $22.5 million before incentives. LSU is also buying out her contract at Baylor and will provide a personal travel allowance. So Kim Mulkey, 8 years, $22.5 million, and her buyout will be $2 million per year. She turns 59 in May. So Kim Mulkey receiving a big deal there at LSU. And then the other LSU news was that LSU announced a return to 100% capacity effective immediately. Masks will no longer be required at LSU sporting events held outdoors. Normal tailgating activities can resume with no COVID-related restrictions.
Let's go.
Yeah, I know. We saw several news like that yesterday. The Braves opened up Truist Park. They are going to allow 100% capacity moving forward.
They changed the name already?
Yeah. We've had this comment. They haven't changed it since the last time we talked about them changing it.
They just built the stadium.
Yeah. They went from SunTrust to Truist.
Whatever, man. Get that money, Braves.
Yep. Get that money. This is great news for me though, because the Yankees play in Atlanta in August. So makes it easier for your boy to get tickets. Which reminds me, one of those days, they play on a Monday and Tuesday, so that Tuesday morning, going to have to be doing the show from a hotel room in Atlanta.
Man.
Just letting you know now.
Do your thing, man. Do your thing.
Look, never been able to go to Yankee Stadium. It's in New York. Kind of hard to get to New York City for somebody who's just from Knoxville, Tennessee. You know what I mean? So when they come to Atlanta, the closest Major League Stadium to me, I'm going to take advantage because they also don't play in Atlanta a ton because different leagues, different divisions. So best believe I'm going to take advantage.
I hope you go with rocking a Yankees jersey and you are the only Yankees fan surrounded by nothing but Braves fan. I hope you are put in that situation to where you can't even cheer.
I mean, I'm not an obnoxious fan in person anyways. I'm not one who starts fights or anything along those lines. I did almost get into a fight with an Alabama fan one time in Neyland Stadium.
I'm proud of you.
And the guy was the uncle of one of my buddies who was in my wedding.
So?
Just
he can get them hands too.
Funny coincidence. We still talk about that to this day. But excited to see the Yankees play in Atlanta. I'm sure the Yankees will lose. Last time I was at a Yankees-Braves game in Atlanta, it was when A-Rod was there, and this is going to turn graphic really quickly, so just prepare yourself. But it was A-Rod pinch hitting with the bases loaded, and obviously A-Rod is not a very well-liked person amongst baseball fans.
Mm-hmm.
The entire Turner Field crowd was booing the living mess out of A-Rod.
Mm-hmm.
And this was the game in which somebody fell over the top and fell all the way down and died. I was unfortunately at that game. But glad to see that events are opening back up. I've got two more quick things before we hit the top of the hour in about 45 seconds. The SEC announced its Media Day schedule. SEC Media Days will be from July 19th to July 22nd. Josh Heupel will speak on the second day of SEC Media Days. He will follow Kirby Smart, Mark Stoops, Lane Kiffin, and Josh Heupel. So Josh Heupel is going to be the last coach to speak on day 2. And again, Kirby Smart, Mark Stoops, Lane Kiffin will be there the same day. And the news that we all love, it's official. The NCAA has passed the one-time transfer rule, allowing all athletes, regardless of sport, to be immediately eligible at their new school. Now we do have to wait and see if the SEC will allow immediate eligibility for transfers within the conference. But overall, the NCAA has passed the one-time transfer rule.
As long as Justin Powell can play, I'm good to go. I'm good to go. Austin Price joins us next here in the Swain Event. Tavin Jackson, four-star quarterback, commits to Tennessee. Second quarterback commitment for Josh Heupel in the last week. We'll talk to Austin Price. VolQuest.com coming up next.
At work, can't call in? Don't feel bad. You can talk to the guys on the text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
Top 100 Barbecue restaurant Dead End BBQ is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup, or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End BBQ delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End BBQ. The search is over.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
At Hiller, we care about your family's comfort all year long. If you get caught without air conditioning this summer, we're offering a free service call with any repair. That's a free service call when we do the work on your HVAC system. Visit happyhiller.com to schedule your appointment today.
Call the Happy Face Truck today.
You don't have to take an L just because you can't listen to the Swain Event live. You can catch up on the podcast posted daily on the app, online, and on iTunes.
Swain Event, SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End BBQ, and we are joined now by the man, the myth, the legend, Austin Price here on the Hours Networks hotline. His time is brought to you by Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. Austin has been crisscrossing the world, bringing you recruiting coverage and taking some time this morning, graciously. I know he's super tired to join us. So, Austin, man, good morning, sir.
See what I do for you, Jason Swain. I drive through bad coverage areas. Yesterday, had my phone on airplane mode when I'm down at Hardin County High School when you try to call me, all to set up my appearance today to talk about Tavin Jackson. See, if I'd done my normal Tuesday spot, we wouldn't be able to do this. But I think ahead. I'm like, hey, I'm going to figure out ways to not do his show so we can do Tavin Jackson on Thursday.
I think you convinced Tavin Jackson to wait to yesterday to commit, so that way you can come on today and talk about it. But since your phone was acting like a swamp donkey.
Well, yesterday I was just in Hardin County and my phone was on airplane mode, so I never knew you had called until you texted me and go, "What happened, man?"
Why your phone's on airplane mode? Was you on the airplane?
No, I was doing an interview with the young man, and so had you called me and I'd not been on airplane mode, then it would have stopped the recording of the interview.
I think you just should have answered, and then we could have spoken to the young man on the air, live on the radio.
Ben,
the people want more, Austin. They want more.
Ben, they're clamoring for you to talk about Harrison Bailey on the general quarters this morning.
I'm sure they are. Harrison Bailey is greatest quarterback in the history of football.
Every time, Ben, you try to get them on your side, they'll find something else to get on you about. So you might as well just keep it real.
It took Ben like a week to anger the general's quarters.
Yeah. Well.
And all I said was that Harrison Bailey was the best quarterback on Saturday, but that was not reflective of the spring that he had in totality.
Woo. Austin, 2 quarterback commitments in a week. When we had you on, asked about Joe Milton, phones were acting up. So let's go back and kind of discuss Joe Milton and what does this staff see in Joe Milton that I guess the public did not see from Joe Milton while he was in Michigan. I look at a guy like Brian John Marie. He left. Michigan hasn't done anything. They've hired really good coaches. They've recruited fairly well, and all that's happened is coaches have left to go to Ohio State. Coaches have left to go to other places. Tennessee was able to bring in a coach from Michigan, and Milton was a starting quarterback at the beginning of the season. They go out there, they blast Minnesota, and then just like something is in the water in Michigan. But what did Tennessee see in Joe Milton that they felt comfortable bringing him in?
A big arm. They see a lot of potential, and they feel like that the kid's just not been developed. Again, they're bringing in Joe Milton to win the job. That doesn't mean he will. Ultimately, Josh Heupel is going to play the quarterback that gives him the best chance to win, no matter who it is. If it's Caden Salter, that'll be the quarterback. He missed spring. So, I think you can put stock in Joe Milton's arrival, but at the same time, I don't think it's the end-all, be-all. I don't think it means, they're trying to not start Harrison Bailey, or they're not trying to give Brian Maurer a fair shot, or they don't like Hendon Hooker. I think it's just much what I've said the last 6 weeks, which is you do whatever it takes to fix the quarterback position. So, obviously they're not 100% sold on everybody they have in that room, and so they're bringing in somebody else to compete for the job. And so, we'll find out how much those other kids that have been here want to truly compete, because Joe Milton's coming in here to compete and to win. So it doesn't mean he will. It just means that this is not a lay down for Harrison Bailey to be the starter just because he had a good spring game, or it's not a lay down for Hendon Hooker just because he transferred from Virginia Tech. Joe Milton's going to come in here, and I know his mindset. His mindset is he's already the guy in his mind. Like, he's walking in the door thinking, this is my job and I'm going to take it.
And that should be his mentality. You got to have extreme level of confidence to play the quarterback position, and you better believe in yourself, because at the end of the day, that's who you with the most of the time is yourself. So you better believe in yourself and better have that confidence. So that's what I see. I see a big arm. I see someone that's mobile, and he is a dual threat. When people hear dual threat, they only think that the guy can run, but no, he truly can run. I saw a couple of runs. Watching some Michigan film against Minnesota. He did a really good job of using his legs and his arm. So you certainly get that. And Tavin Jackson, man, Tennessee had him number 1 on the board after some early misses, but they land their guy. Ben, Austin, how do we get to this point with Tavin Jackson, man? Why now?
Well, I think Tavin Jackson just felt comfortable with Tennessee, even though he's not been here. He visited 2 or 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
That don't really count in my opinion. Like, he hadn't been here with this new staff, and hadn't been to Knoxville lately. So, I kind of think they got their guy. That's not to say that Ty Simpson wasn't their original guy, because that would be that would be false.
Yeah.
They wanted Ty Simpson, but they also walked in the door and were so far behind with Ty, like they tried to make it up. And I don't even count Sam Horn, because the damage was already done there. There was nothing. Josh Heupel, and I spoke with Sam's father, and with Sam for that matter, and it was nothing that this staff did. It was just a matter of fact that Eli Drinkwitz, had built long relationship with Sam. So, in my mind, the first guy they fully went on and actually was able to spend time with and get to know, they got him. So that's a good sign. Again, Ty Simpson would have been the guy had he wanted to come here, but there was just not enough time to get that one done. Credit to the staff. They went and got Tavin Jackson done. And talking to him yesterday, he's fired up, and I think he's going to be a real active recruiter for this class. And I think you need him to be. And it starts with his teammate, Caden Curry, who is a 4-star defensive end who is coveted by some of the best programs in college football. I don't think Caden's going to come here just because he's buddies with Tavin, but I do think that gets a foot in the door. And that's when you let Rodney Garner go to work and do what he does best. And, if they can get him to campus, Swain, the age-old Tennessee adage in recruiting, if you can get them to campus, the ball's got a shot. And I still maintain that. I think if you can get them to Tennessee, then they have a shot.
Austin, what do you think the addition of Tavin Jackson means for the quarterback room? I don't know that it necessarily means anything for the older guys, but I'm looking at Caden Salter and thinking you better kick it into gear quick.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think here's the deal. You take a quarterback every year.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it really affects the quarterback room per se overall, outside of the fact you're just adding more talent to it. But, I think, yeah, you're right. If you're Caden Salter, you knew Tennessee was going to bring in a quarterback in the 22 class, just like Tavin Jackson should know that they're going to bring in a quarterback in the 23 class. That's just the nature of the beast. So, Caden Salter had a chance to kind of get a leg up by being a midterm enrollee. He made a mistake, had to miss spring. Now he's behind the 8 ball a little bit. So, we'll see how much he's able to rebound this summer and early fall.
Austin, and we're joined by Austin Price of AllQuest.com. What are the potential prospects that Tennessee can bring in the transfer portal? I know there's been some visitors, some guys looking at Tennessee, the linebacker from Texas looking at Tennessee. It looks that Tennessee may be looking for some help there on the defensive line if you have some attrition there. What are some of the options out there, some of the prospects for Tennessee?
Well, I think Juwan Mitchell starts at the top of the list. The linebacker from Texas, led Texas in tackles last year. I think Tennessee's in a really good spot there, Jason. I really do. I think he really has clicked with Brian Jean-Marie, and I think that one, could come to a head sooner rather than later. So I don't think we get to next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend, and he's not made a decision. So we'll be interested to see how that unfolds. That would be a big addition, and he would instantly become Tennessee's most experienced linebacker if he does indeed pick Tennessee. Outside of that, I think they would go defensive line just because some of those older guys didn't finish spring and just don't know where they're at and so on and so forth. If they could get the right guy, I don't think they'll just take a body to take a body, though.
Austin Price, VolQuest.com, here on the Swain Event. Swain Event fueled by Dead End BBQ. Austin's Time is brought to you by Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. Any sneak peeks of, man, the type of recruits and who you've been talking to out here, man, on your recruiting trip? What can people expect from you and VolQuest, man?
Well, we've Brent Hubbs and I hit it hard the last couple of days. So we saw over 20 kids in about a 36-hour span and covered parts of Tennessee I've never been to, Jason. So, ironically, we went to Brent and I were talking, we were driving yesterday, and I said, I've never been here, but I said, I've heard of these towns because the great John Ward would always, Mumford, Tennessee, or, Humboldt, or any of those like West Tennessee towns that had, players from the yesteryear. And so I think that really is neat that his impact by just saying where a kid played, 30 or 40 years ago still resonates with somebody, that's driving around in West Tennessee that really don't know. I mean, like, I know geographically where I'm at, but I've never been to these places. So, I thought that was pretty neat. Got to talk to some 23s, some 24s, talked to some 22s, got to see Anthony Brown at Milan, Jalen Lewis over in Brownsville at Haywood. Got to see a Nathan Robinson, who is a man-child up at Greenbrier. And I never even heard of Greenbrier. Tennessee just offered him defensive end. He's a 2023, and he's still 15 years old. He's about 6'4", 6'5", 245 pounds. I mean, he is a really good-looking kid. Got to see some great kids in the mid-state. Got to spend some time with the Herring brothers down in Murfreesboro at Riverdale. So, we kind of covered this thing, all over. And let's not forget, I got to see Cam Miller and Dallin Hayden out in Memphis as well.
Austin, Brent Hubbs put out 2 pieces yesterday and today on the site about a sit-down with Danny White. Did you have one particular thing that maybe stood out to you the most from Brent's conversation with Danny White, kind of recapping his first 100 days in office and kind of his plans for the future?
Well, I think just that he grasps, how important it is to hold on to Tony Vitello. I mean, he really does. I think he knows that, if he keeps Vitello, if he gets that done, and Vitello's extended, and there's improvements to the baseball program and facilities that that makes him look good, and if and if he lets Vitello get away, it's a huge hit to him early on as AD. So, I would be shocked if Tennessee doesn't pull out all stops to keep Tony Vitello here. And I think Tony Vitello's preference is to stay at Tennessee because it's something he's built, not going someplace that was already built. I mean, Tennessee, had been to the College World Series, but that had been 16 years ago, 2005. This place was tore down, burned to the ground as far as baseball program, and was in ruins when Tony Vitello got here.
Austin, you've also heard Danny White, since he took over the job, talk about needing to make renovations to Neyland Stadium to modernize the fan experience. What does that look like? Can you give us an example of what modernizing Neyland Stadium and modernizing the fan experience looks like? Because to anybody that visits Neyland Stadium, you look at it, and it's one of the great cathedrals in college football. Obviously, there's older sections of the stadium, but it's still a beautiful stadium in itself. So what does modernizing the fan experience look like?
Well, first off, it's getting Wi-Fi to where you can actually send a text and text your wife and say, "Did you need extra mayonnaise on your hot dog or extra mustard on your hot dog?" I mean, right now, once you get a certain amount of people in there, this past season wasn't a deal because only 20,000 people, but when you get a normal amount of people in there, you can't text. I mean, the Wi-Fi is so poor for the fans. You've got to improve that. There's no reason it should not be better. And then just making everything more spacious, making the atmosphere better, whether it be what music they play, the entertainment that's, in between quarters or in between, halves, all those little things that make a huge difference, in my opinion. But, I think there's a balance there of the traditions of the pregame band, stuff and, how things have happened versus, getting, more cool and not being stuck in, 20 years ago. I think that goes a long way. But to me, I think that goes a long way with, whether it be, what they play on the Jumbotron, game day radio, whatever. I mean, I think you have to adjust and become more, fan-driven as far as social media, all those type of things. I think that goes a long way because the fans, they pay a lot of money. You look at the ticket prices now, I think if Danny White was smart, he would roll back prices on some of those lesser games. Like, I would almost make it really, really affordable, and I'd try to have a packed house for those 4 games a year where you're playing teams you're supposed to beat. Because it's a lot of money to pay to come to a game to watch Tennessee. In theory, beat down a team like Chattanooga or South Alabama or whoever. So I think instead of paying a fortune for that, I think you roll back the prices there. You get more people in the stands, you're going to make more money that way.
Austin, Tennessee's Twitter account been posting about the Tennessee takeover and putting all Tennessee on-field coaches on the road in Tennessee, giving them a territory. And you followed recruiting for a very long time. Is this the first time this has happened like this in a long time, or this is something that we've seen recently from a coaching staff where all 10 coaches had somewhat of a piece of Tennessee as a recruiting area?
Well, I think that's more for graphic purposes than anything. The last few days, like, all the coaches have been reaching out to local high school coaches, and Josh Heupel has been on the phone with all these high school coaches across the state, talking to them about their programs, and talking to several of these coaches while we were out on the road. They were very complimentary of that. Just having somebody to check in on them, and it saying it didn't feel forced, and that they didn't just talk generically. They asked inquisitive questions about their program and their high school and their city and those type of things. They spent time with them on the phone. That part of it is new. Now, again, is every coach going to be actually have a county in the state to recruit? Not really, because you got to factor in there's only so many kids, and there's a lot more kids now than there used to be. But even then, out of the 95 counties, Jason, I bet you, 75 of them don't have anybody that has an offer from Tennessee or a Power 5 school. So, I think a lot of some of that's window dressing, but some of it's just, hey, you call that coach at Coalfield or at Oneida or at Humboldt or wherever, because you never know when a kid's going to come through there. Perfect example is the kid I just mentioned at Greenbrier. They've never had a kid like that there. And all of a sudden they do. So you reach out to them that way, in that rare chance they do have someone. You've already got a relationship with the coach because you talked to him several times, and you go from there. I just think that it's smart recruiting to do that.
Or a Tennessee legend like Johnny Jones from Munford, Tennessee, right?
That's right. That's my point. Like, when was the last time Munford had somebody?
Johnny Jones.
Okay, but you never know. Like, who's to say that they don't have one 4 years from now? And all of a sudden, you reached out to that coach. People in the community know you've been calling when they didn't have anybody. It just makes an impact.
Good stuff, Austin. It feels like with the addition of Ben, man, y'all dropping content left and right. What can you tell us what's going on this week with VolQuest as far as content?
Well, just, we'll have coverage throughout our state trip, and, we'll also have baseball coverage as Tennessee kicks off their weekend series a day early with Kentucky.
Sounds like you might have somebody that can cover baseball for you guys.
Ryan Shumpert.
He does a good job.
He's awesome.
I know a guy that can do a pretty good job covering baseball too, man. I know a guy. Never mind. I think
Chris Burt.
I think Ron Shumpert is the best bet. Never mind. I forgot the other guy's name. Austin, man, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you all. You'll have a great Thursday.
All right, man. Be careful on the road.
He's back home.
Still got to be on the road.
That you are correct.
He ain't gonna leave. He ain't gonna stay at home. Is he? Are we still quarantined?
No.
That's right. He is back home. He is back home.
But to your point, he does have to travel. I'm
glad
sure
that he's
to
safe.
go somewhere today.
I'm glad that he's safe. He made it back home, man. Because crisscrossing Tennessee is not easy. It's not like it's you're driving in freaking like New Hampshire or something.
Please, Austin should be full of energy. He got to visit the great Henry County football team in Paris, Tennessee. He got to step foot in Paris, Tennessee. He got to drive over the bridge into Paris Landing and be in Paris, Tennessee. And then he got to go through Humboldt, Tennessee, and he got to go to Munford, Tennessee, the great home of Johnny Jones, and right around the corner from John Morant, Tennessee. So Austin should be full of joy and happiness this morning.
He probably slept while Hubs did all driving anyways.
Yeah, probably. Hubs, wake me up when it's time to talk to a recruit.
865-255-03. Be right back.
Top 100 barbecue restaurant Dead End BBQ is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup, or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End BBQ delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End BBQ. The search is over.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam, where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
When you see the happy face on our truck, you'll be smiling because you'll know that you're in love.
At Hiller, we care about your family's comfort all year long. If you get caught without air conditioning this summer, we're offering a free service call with any repair. That's a free service call when we do the work on your HVAC system. Visit happyhiller.com to schedule your appointment today.
Call the happy face truck today.
Touchdown or turnover is backed by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union, a place where you belong.
Touchdown turnover back by Alcoa 10 Federal Credit Union. Place where you belong. Better rates and better service. ATFCU.com. 29th, Thursday, April. First round draft tonight. First round draft tonight in Cleveland, Ohio. Your top 5 picks for tonight. You have, of course, the Jacksonville Jaguars at number 1, the Jets at number 2, the 49ers at 3, the Falcons at 4, and the Bengals at 5. Touchdown turnover. One of the top 5 teams will trade down. One of the top 5 teams will trade down, or a team with a top 5 pick, will trade down. Touchdown or turnover. Jaguars, Jets, 49ers, Falcons, Bengals. Will one of these teams trade down before tonight's first round of the draft?
Here's what I think happens. Trevor Lawrence gets drafted number 1 to the Jaguars. Zach Wilson gets drafted number 2 to the Jets. Mac Jones gets drafted number 3 to the 49ers. Now, that's an interesting situation to watch because, according to reports, Kyle Shanahan wants Mac Jones. The personnel department wants Trey Lance. So that is an interesting dynamic there.
The difference between college and pro. College, the head coach is the final say. Pro, it could be GM. It could be the owner who gets final say. Remember when Al Davis wanted Jamarcus Russell and Lane Kiffin did not want Jamarcus Russell. So a little bit different dynamic.
You may not remember off the top of your head, but who did Lane want to draft? Was it another quarterback, or was it I don't remember who was in the Jamarcus Russell draft off the top of my head, obviously.
Yeah, that was the 07 draft. I'm sure if you Google it, you'll know.
Calvin Johnson went number 2.
I think he wanted Calvin Johnson.
Joe Thomas to the Browns at number 3. LaRon Landry 6th. Adrian Peterson 7th. Ted Ginn Jr. 9th. So Jamarcus Russell went 1, and the next quarterback drafted, there wasn't a quarterback. Wow.
Yeah, he wanted Calvin Johnson.
That was the Brady Quinn draft. So I imagine Brady Quinn went 22nd. He was the next quarterback to be drafted. That was not a good quarterback draft at all. Only 2 quarterbacks in the first round. Robert Meacham, 27th to the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
Who did the Steelers draft that year? Lawrence Timmons. That worked out well for him. Also, the Justin Harrell draft had 2 Tennessee first-rounders that year. And then Aaron Sears was the 3rd pick in the second round.
Mm-hmm.
Turk McBride. But
get back on 40.
No. My ADD setting in.
You getting off of the exit about Mumford, you're gonna get lost.
I had never heard that before, so that's why I was curious. I was unaware that Lane Kiffin did not want Jamarcus Russell.
Yeah,
so.
you wanted Calvin Johnson.
Interesting. So I think the 49ers will take Mac Jones. I say touchdown to your question that a team will trade out of the top 5. I think it'll be the Falcons. I think the Falcons will trade down. There's been a lot of smoke in the city about the Falcons shopping the number 4 pick, and where there's smoke, there's fire, in my opinion. So I think they should trade out. I'd be curious to see what they do if they decide to stick, because I think that they would go best player available. And this is somebody speaking about the Falcons from afar, obviously, but it seems to me like the Falcons need a defensive player, a defensive game changer. And there, as we've talked about a couple weeks ago on the show, there's not really that Mario Williams or Jadeveon Clowney in the top 5, top 7 this year. So I think you'll see the Falcons trade down and draft a defender and maybe add another second pick. I think the Panthers, who traded Teddy Bridgewater to Denver yesterday, is going to trade up and try to get like Justin Fields or Trey Lance. So I think the Panthers are going to be the team that trades up. And then I'll be curious to see what the Bengals do. I know there's been a lot of talk about Jamar Chase or another receiver.
They need a lineman.
Yes, Penei Sewell. I mean, if Penei Sewell does not go number 4, because it's going to be quarterback. And if Penei Sewell doesn't get drafted at number 4, which I would kind of be surprised if he did, because, again, I think it'll be the Panthers trading up to take a quarterback. If the Bengals don't take Penei Sewell, just another sign that such a terrible football organization can't get right. You have Joe Burrow. You have receivers. You have a running back in Joe Mixon. Protect your franchise guy. He nearly died on the football field last year because the offensive line was the worst in the NFL. Take Penei Sewell. There's never been an easier decision. So I say touchdown to your touchdown or turnover. I think the Falcons will be the team that trades out of the top 5.
Yeah, the Bengals will be borderline insane if they get anyone besides the offensive lineman or in the first round. Now, Jamar Chase is special, but still, you got to protect Burrow. And if you don't get a first-round lineman, which really hard to go and get the same value, the same level of talent in the second and third round. Now, you can do that at running back. I don't know about offensive line. It's a reason why offensive linemen, you look at the last couple of years, man, they've been pretty successful. Been guys that have done very well in the early in their career when you go in the first round. But man, you gotta have weapons too. If you are the Bengals, man, all you have to do is look at the champions. Look at the champions. Not this past year's champions, but the Chiefs 2 years ago. They lost the Super Bowl because they could not protect Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is their franchise. They traded for Orlando Brown, a player that Tennessee didn't want to recruit him because they felt like he was overweight and wasn't willing to work with him with his grades. So he wound up going to Oklahoma and being an All-American in the first-round pick and a stud there in the NFL, one of the best linemen in the country. Anyways, but look at the Chiefs. If you're the Bengals, follow the champions. Follow what they did. They went out and they protected their quarterback, bringing in 2 linemen that wasn't on the roster this past season. So that's the pick for the Bengals. But I'm going to go turnover. I don't think anyone trades out. I think the Falcons are in a win-win. Why would you trade down and cost yourself Kyle Pitts, a guy that we have not seen before? We have not seen a guy like Kyle Pitts before. You may not want to get a quarterback. That's fine. But you're going to turn away Kyle Pitts, and that's what you would do if you trade down because Kyle Pitts will not be past 5. He won't last past 5.
We'll say he doesn't go 4. Say somebody trades up and drafts a quarterback at 4. You think the Bengals are going to take him at 5?
I mean, I think they're going to be in tough position. I mean, that at that point might be the best available. He's a unicorn. You have not seen a guy like Kyle Pitts in a very, very long time. So you may say, okay, well, we might have to go get a lineman in the second round or trade up in the first round to get us another first round pick and get a lineman. We've seen teams trade up and go and have 2 first round picks. Maybe the Bengals do that, but if Kyle Pitts is sitting there at 5 because the Falcons decide to trade down, or whoever the Falcons trade that pick to, they may take Kyle Pitts. I just don't see Kyle Pitts being there after 5, man. I think one of the 5 teams will grab Kyle Pitts, man. He's too special. Yep. He's too special of a player.
I'm the one who said that I would draft him over any receiver in the draft back in September.
Yeah, he's special, man.
He's special. With the Falcons, I can understand them taking. You're definitely taking best available at that point rather than addressing needs on your team, which is always an interesting dynamic. But this first round, in terms of top players available, sets up for the Falcons to take best player available rather than address their needs. To just a little further more on my point about the Bengals, just a smidge more. Penei Sewell or Rashawn Slater, the tackle from Northwestern. He's another guy that folks love at that tackle position. And I realize that Jamar Chase is special, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Smith, all special guys. But the NFL draft shows us every year that you can get special receivers in the second round, the third round, and it's much harder to find offensive linemen, special tackles that is going to protect your franchise quarterback, not even just your franchise quarterback. He is the franchise. Joe Burrow is the franchise, should be for the next 10 years if taken care of properly, but you're not taking care of him properly if you don't draft Penei Sewell or Rashawn Slater. Take one of those guys, number 5, excuse me, and then go get a receiver in the second or third round because, again, it's much easier. Easy is too simplistic of a word, but it's less challenging to find a special receiver in the second, third round, even fourth round, than it is to find a special tackle later on in the draft.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with you on that one. I'm with Cashville Vol, man. When the Panthers traded for Sam Darnold, I didn't think they would trade up and try to get another quarterback. I mean, you trade for Sam Darnold because you think that, he has all the tools. The same reason why Tennessee, brought in Joe Milton, even though he didn't have a lot of success at Michigan. You feel like he has the tools and you feel like he's just in a bad situation and not coached up, not developed. I thought that was the same reason why the Panthers brought in Sam Darnold. He's young. He's in a terrible, was in a terrible organization, terrible culture, and you feel like that he could be your franchise guy. Why go out and try to draft another young quarterback? That was a little weird to me.
No, I agree. To be honest with you, I forgot about Sam Darnold in the moment. I saw Teddy Bridgewater yesterday and was thinking that he was the only quarterback on the roster. And, now they need a quarterback. So, Cashville Vol, you are both correct. I just simply forgot about Sam Darnold in the moment.
CJ Vol, when we were talking to Austin about proactive recruiting, he says that's the way you got to do it to be successful long term. It's about relationships, and everyone knows someone that only calls when they want something. Oh, they're so annoying. They only call when they want something. But you got to call even when you don't want something. You got to call just to check in. Hey, man, I'm thinking about you, making sure you're okay. Don't just call because you want to borrow $5. And recruiting is the same way. Call these coaches before they have really good players. Develop that relationship with them. And that's going to pay out tenfold when they do get a kid. Orange Arc says, give me a back to my seat and kneeling. That's all I need. It hurts sitting there for a full game. That's what he wants his fan experience to be. Jennifer Moore says, don't you walk into that beautiful stadium with that ugly Yankee shirt, Ben. So when you go to the Yankees-Braves game, you keep your Yankees jersey at home, is what Jennifer Morris is telling you to do.
Never.
ATL VFL, tight ends aren't difference makers like they were 10 years ago.
Are or aren't?
Aren't.
Tight ends aren't difference makers? In apostrophe T?
I think that was a typo. ATL VFL, please tell me that was a typo.
Because Travis Kelce, George Kittle, Rob Gronkowski would like a word. Kyle Pitts this past season at Florida would like a word. Kyle Pitts was literally unguardable this past season. Somebody who is unguardable is a difference maker.
Yeah, tight ends are valued way more than they were 10 years ago.
The reason the Steelers have not been able to get over the hump, not necessarily this past season, but when the Steelers still had Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell, is they ran into the Patriots, and Patriots were a more talented team, but there wasn't a huge gap. The biggest gap was the Steelers could not guard Rob Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski ate the Steelers' lunch, and that's why the Steelers could not advance. He was a difference maker. He was unguardable. Eric Berry and the Chiefs could not get over the hump because they could not guard Rob Gronkowski.
All right, man. All right, we get your point. You had to bring Eric Berry into this.
My bad.
Mike says, Dolphin fan here. If Pitts is gone by 6, Chase, Waddle, Devontae Smith are still available. Who are you taking for Tua? Ooh.
That is above my pay grade. I am not knowledgeable enough to be able to separate Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle and Jamar Chase. Swain obviously would know much better than me. I am recusing myself from this conversation. I plead the fifth.
Ooh, man. Ooh.
I don't know how you separate the three.
Ooh.
I mean, you can separate them in terms of body types. Devontae Smith, not the biggest guy. Jalen Waddle seems to be more of a slot receiver. But in terms of wide receiver skill sets, I don't know how you separate the three.
Jamar Chase is the tallest. He's 6 foot. Waddle is 5'10", and Devontae Smith, I know he ain't 6 foot. So if you like bigger receivers, and all of them can run, Devontae Smith 6'1" actually it says here. I don't know if I believe
Which
that.
means he's 6 foot.
I don't believe that.
Or 5'11".
I think Jamar Chase is taller. I think Jamar Chase is taller out of the three. But it's going to come down to personal preference. if you are the Miami Dolphins. Because I don't think you can really go wrong with any three of them, to be honest. Now, two of them played this past season. One of them finished the season. One of them was hurt, coming off injury. But I'm a big Jalen Waddle fan because he can return punts for you too.
And kicks.
Yeah, man. I'm a huge Jalen Waddle fan. And if he didn't get hurt, it would be him winning the Heisman, in my opinion. He's special. He's special. But I don't know, man. I don't know who you would give the edge to be honest, man. Maybe Jamar Chase because he's physically built to handle hits, and he doesn't have the injury history that Jalen Waddle has. Maybe, but I'm telling you, man, you're really splitting hairs here. I couldn't make that decision. I'll take all three.
I don't.
Give me all three. 865-255-03. Be right back.
While the other guys are taking guesses, the Swain Event is taking you behind the scenes and in the huddle every morning from 7 till 10 right here.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at GarzaLaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
When I made the move to my own studio, I was worried about this. I was worried about that. I was worried about, hey, did I get this piece of equipment? Did I get that piece of equipment? Does that sound good? Does that not sound good? One thing I didn't have to worry about, that was office furniture, because Office Furniture Outfitters met my furniture needs. With a 50,000 square foot facility, they have East Tennessee's largest selection and are the best value for new and used office furniture. Located in Knoxville, it's easy to find everything you need for your new space, including desks, file cabinets, chairs, conference tables, and more. Office Furniture Outfitters is turnkey. They came to my place, we mapped everything out that was needed, they delivered, and get this, set everything up. To learn more about what Office Furniture Outfitters can do for you, log on to OFOKnox.com. That's OFOKnox.com. We're here with Dr. Michael Carlson of Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine to discuss stem cell treatment and PRP. If you have orthopedic injuries such as shoulder pain, knee pain, Achilles tendonitis, or tennis elbow, you should give them a call.
That's right, Jason. We specialize in regenerative non-surgical orthopedics. So we treat damaged tendons, ligaments, and joints by using ultrasound-guided injections with stem cells or PRP. And this form of treatment actually stimulates the body's own reparative process and allows for healing of the damaged tissue.
So, Doc, what makes your training different than others?
Well, Jason, I've been practicing in Knoxville for 26 years, and I'm certified in interventional regenerative orthopedic medicine through the American Academy of Orthopedic Medicine. So unlike the big seminars that will advertise stem cells, fly someone in for a couple hours to talk about supposed stem cells that you order off of a shelf, then they'll depart, leaving the patient wondering who will be the person injecting me and what their level of training is. At Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, I'm the one doing the procedure, and we're using your own bone marrow stem cells or PRP. So in other words, it comes from you and it goes back to you. So you know exactly what you're getting and know exactly the level of training involved.
Tennessee Regenerative Sports Medicine, trsportsmedicine.com. East Tennessee's leader in PRP and stem cell therapy.
More and more Tennessee businesses are switching to Iris Networks for reliable, local, high-quality, high-speed business fiber internet. Iris provides direct internet access from 10 megs to 10 gigs with no payments for 90 days. Iris also offers next-generation business phones with work from anywhere capability from the mobile or laptop app. With local sales, support, and service, Iris is a partner in the community. Learn more at irisnetworkusa.com or call 865-448-IRIS. Iris Networks, a Tennessee business connecting Tennessee businesses. It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks.
Good morning, Swain Event family. As you already know, I'm your go-to realtor when you are considering buying, selling, or investing in East Tennessee real estate. But did you know I can help all of you listeners in other parts of the country? No matter where you're listening from, there's a good chance I have several Keller Williams real estate partners in your area. I've developed relationships with realtors I know I can trust to help you with your needs. So give me a call, Jennifer Morris, Keller Williams Realty, 865-257-7897, or email me at jennifermorris865@gmail.com.
I just wanted to come by and congratulate you on the great work you've been doing.
I like your style. You remind me of a young me.
Failure is not an option.
That boy is good.
Homes, remind yourself, nobody built like you. You design yourself.
Atta Boy. Atta Boy is brought to you by Made in Tennessee Business Fiber Internet from Iris Networks. Find business solutions for you at irisnetworksusa.com.
Time for Atta Boy here in the Swain Event. Atta Boy is brought to you by Iris Networks. Go to their website at irisnetworksusa.com. See how you can take advantage of their great service that's reliable, it's local, it's high quality, business, fiber, internet, and voice. For 90 days, you won't have a payment. You can give them a call at 865-448-4747. And they bring us Atta Boy here on the program. And I have an Atta Boy. I have an Atta Boy, man. For the first time in 11 years, the Phoenix Suns clinch a playoff spot. That's one. My other goes to, I know you ain't gonna do this because you so petty.
You giving another one to LSU?
Baltimore Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. Pretty cool. On Wednesday, Jackson paid a lucky passerby $100 after the man thought Jackson was a wide receiver and then an offensive lineman. In exchange, which Jackson shared on Instagram, the Baltimore Ravens quarterback playfully offered the man money if he can recognize the 2019 NFL MVP. I know you play football, the man said. What position? The man guessed wide receiver.
I wonder why.
Jackson responded, you might not get this $100. The man later guessed 212-pound Jackson might be an offensive lineman. Being a good sport, Jackson gave the $100 bill to the man and hugged him. Moments later, the man ran back and exclaimed, "Lamar Jackson!" Lamar said, "Yeah, that's me." After the video was shared on social media, Jackson jokingly said, if he would have said running back, I would have kept my $100. So there you go. You can hate on Lamar Jackson all you want to. MVP of the league. Baller. MVP of the league. Stud. Anyways, what you got for Atta Boy?
I'm going back to the world of golf for today's Atta Boy. More of a funny Atta Boy, funny situation that a golf player had to overcome. It had been a month, and this article is on golfdigest.com, reads that it had been a month since Nick Volk made a cut on the Korn Ferry Tour when he went to bed last Friday in Arlington, Texas. He'd made the weekend at the Vertex Bank Championship, but not the cut just yet, as bad weather in the area suspended play on Friday. So Volk slept hovering around that cut line with 2 holes to finish in his second round and the potential for a critical marathon of a Saturday ahead of him. Yet that day started around dawn in the most stressful possible circumstances for a player trying to make a cut and accumulate points in this pandemic-stretched Korn Ferry Tour season. After a morning stretch and warm-up, Volk and his caddy, Leonard Powell, stepped onto the elevator at their hotel around 6:13 a.m. They didn't get off the elevator until 7 a.m. They were stuck in the elevator for 47 minutes thanks to a malfunctioning elevator, the kind of unexpected challenge and obstacle you seem to only hear about in the game's less glamorous lower tours. The two confronted the predicament with amusement, but that turned to agony as time passed and the threat of missing the resumption of their second round became real. Some practice putts on the elevator carpet turned to more frantic attempts to find help and brainstorm ways to break out of the malfunctioning lift. Quote, "It was funny for like 5 minutes. We were just sitting there on our phones, put it on Instagram, and then it was like, oh, this isn't actually moving." The hotel was unresponsive at first, but tour officials weren't, and they made it clear Volk would be disqualified if he did not make it to the course on time.
Wow.
After 45 minutes, Volk was freed and refocused on the nervy 2 holes he had to complete to make his cut. Fortunately, the Kiwi is accustomed to the truncated warm-up, a routine he has a name for back home. We call this the Rolls Royce. In New Zealand growing up, we don't have driving ranges, so straight to the first tee, a couple of stretches to limber up, and away you go. So after being stuck on the elevator, he closed that second round with a birdie and par on his 2 remaining holes to make the cut. Then he went back to the hotel, caught a nap, and made sure to take the stairs down for an afternoon 65 in his third round. So not only did he get stuck in the elevator as he was trying to make the cut, he then went out and played great golf. So quite the amusing story.
Dad joke alert.
Hit us with it.
I have a dad joke.
Does it involve my last name?
No. It's not as good as that one. Did that golfer with his great day after being stuck in the elevator and going out and shooting a really good score, would you say that he was stunting like his caddy? Huh? No?
I'm not speaking for the remainder of this hour.
Oh, wow. That was terrible.
Stunting like my caddy. Stunting like my caddy. No takers. John K says my Atta Boy goes to Antonio Brown for getting that bag. I hope he's having a great day.
My for what today goes to John K from South Carolina for supporting a man who sexually assaults women.
Hey, man. John K believes in second chances and third and fourth chances.
I do as well, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to support somebody like that.
Hey, man.
There's a difference between believing in second, third, and fourth chances and supporting them.
Giving an attaboy don't mean you support them.
Yes, it does. Why else would you give somebody an attaboy?
That's not
My for what goes to John K from South Carolina for giving somebody who sexually assaults women an attaboy.
Hey, even someone who made a mistake, if they do something good, you give them an attaboy. That don't mean you support them. That just means you noticed that they did something good. Nice try, though.
Nice try to cover up for him. I applaud your efforts, but it's really sad to see you, John K from South Carolina, Vol Storm, DR Vol, support somebody who sexually assaults women. Sad. Very sad indeed. I expected better from you all.
We support people who. Volstorm, might want to check the text box there.
Ramon Foster said it didn't happen. Okay.
Oh man, hour 3 coming up.
Top 100 Barbecue restaurant Dead End BBQ is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End BBQ delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End BBQ. The search is over.
Is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you. Hello, is that as low as you can go? Okay, thank you.
What are you doing?
Calling around to get the best rate on a car loan.
Why? Everyone knows Alcoa 10 is the best choice to purchase a vehicle or refinance your current loan. And with low interest rates and 90 days to your first payment, it's a no-brainer. You can even apply online and sign all the documents from the convenience of your home.
Yeah, I don't know what I was thinking.
Alcoa 10 Credit Union. It's so easy. Go to atfcu.com for details. Rates are dependent on credit score and equal housing lender.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help. Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Swain Event and SwainEvent.com, fueled by Dead End BBQ, top 100 barbecue restaurant in America. Let's get to C-Mack on the Iris Networks hotline this morning. C-Mack, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Swain. Good morning, McKee.
Good morning. Good morning, C-Mack.
How y'all doing today?
Wonderful.
Great. Happy Friday Eve.
Yes, sir.
Happy game day.
Happy, what'd you say?
Happy game day.
Happy game day.
Mm-hmm.
Who playing?
Tennessee and Kentucky.
Oh, okay. Word. I was still like, tripping from, I think it was an hour one. I was just getting up, and y'all were talking about NC State football, so that's where my mind was for a little bit. I kind of forgot about all other sports because, according to Ben, I only like, NC State football and NC State athletics.
Well, in case you were wondering, NC State plays Wake Forest this weekend in baseball. They play tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Saturday, 4 o'clock Sunday, 1 o'clock. You can watch on the ACC network, and they're playing at Wake Forest.
Don't NC State got one of them pretty good, like almost all-time baseball coaches? You know who that is, McKee?
Not off the top of my head.
Don't let him suck you in, C-Mac. He trying to suck you in.
I know.
Don't do it.
I know. Look it up, man. I think Coach is like Avent, Coach Avent there at NC State. He really good baseball coach. But that's not why I called today. Definitely not going to talk about state athletics and their football coach who underachieves. To answer that question earlier, real quick. To answer that question,
overachieved.
Real quick, a lot of that had to do with his quarterback play. The year that Jason said, he had like 4 first round picks. If I'm not mistaken, he did that with a transfer quarterback, and they did underachieve. In the year that they overachieved, it was due to Dave having a quarterback that he actually really wanted, if I'm not mistaken. But that's a whole nother rabbit hole. I actually wanted to stir the pot this morning and ask y'all a really, really hard question, maybe even two, just in case y'all don't want to answer the first one.
Okay.
Earlier, y'all were talking about this amazing commit that we got. Congratulations to us, a class of 2022, and 5 heads involvement in this potentially. And y'all talked about the Manning Passing Academy. Now, if I'm not mistaken, historically, the starting quarterback of the University of Tennessee is typically a counselor at this camp. And even when we had that one, I think it was 1 year, maybe even 2, the year that we sent 2 folks down that way. I think it was a year, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I want to say it was
17.
I think so.
Yeah, we didn't send anybody that year.
Say again?
I don't think anybody went that year, 17, Dormady and Garantano.
Yeah. So we sending the whole room this year? We sending the whole platoon this year? Like who we sending?
I don't know.
Because wouldn't that give us a good indication on, who might be a leader of that room?
Joe Milton. That is who we are sending. I mean, that would be my guess. I mean, theoretically, all of them could go. I don't know how that works. Do you know how? Is that a
usually the starting quarterback, the established starter, like a Josh Dobbs will go.
Yes.
Or Eric Ainge would go. Tyler Bray would go, or Casey Clausen would go, like an established starter.
If I'm not mistaken, that year that Tyler Bray went, or the first year Tyler Bray went, Chris Sims, or the Sims kid also went, didn't he?
I don't.
Yeah,
remember.
I'm not sure. I don't remember that.
Okay.
I would think Harrison Bailey and Joe Milton would be the most likely to attend. I don't know how that will work since Tennessee does not have a starting quarterback like a Josh Dobbs. Does Peyton make it to where any of the Tennessee quarterbacks can go if they choose, or does Josh Heupel have to pick 2 that can go? Does he have to pick 1 that can go? I'd be curious to know how that's going to work. But
do they even have the camp this year? Who knows?
Yeah, that's also true. They didn't have it last year. But I would guess that Joe Milton and Harrison Bailey are the 2 most likely to attend.
So let's say hypothetically that we don't have this camp, just for safety reasons, okay? This was my follow-up question, just in case y'all weren't prepared to answer that. Who's the player representation for SEC Media Day?
Alante Taylor.
Yeah, he's going to be one.
That's one. That's the easiest one, right?
And then Paxton Brooks and Will Albright, right?
What? Hold on. What?
I'm kidding.
Who?
I'm kidding. I don't know who the other two would be. Cade Mays, maybe?
One of the Mays brothers?
Well, I don't think Cooper would go with as young as he is. I think if one goes, it'd be Cade. Not going to be a quarterback.
Might be.
I don't think they'll send a quarterback.
I don't think they have a choice.
What do you mean, Swain?
I don't know. Like, you might be able to. I can see them sending really 2 DBs, but on offense, I mean, I can see them, taking the offensive lineman, but like, we're struggling to find like the alpha dogs and the without doubt leaders, and I don't know if we can find one. And you got 2 new quarterbacks that have come in, and there's a whole lot of time for those guys to make their case. So I can see one of the quarterbacks going, who is maybe going to be in position to be the starter, but I don't think that player will be named the starter in July. But I can see a quarterback going because I just think it's wide open, Ben, and I really think it's wide open for someone to be one of those 2. In addition to Alontae Taylor. Alontae Taylor definitely will be one of them, but the other 2, I don't know, man. I think it's open, though.
My prediction is Alontae Taylor, and that's because he has participated in these type of things over the last several years. So Alontae Taylor.
Role on the leadership thing that he's doing again this year, right?
Yeah, for the SEC. He's on the SEC Leadership Council. So,
yep. So it makes sense for him to go, and he's tried to take that leadership role on the defense as well. So Alontae Taylor, Velus Jones, and Jeremy Banks. Those are my 3 predictions. Those are the 3 that I could take. Or as GBO says on the text box, I could see Matthew Butler going in place of Jeremy Banks. I think I would change that. I think it'll be Matthew Butler, Velus Jones, and Alontae Taylor. Those are the 3 representatives that I think will be at SEC Media Days for Tennessee.
Yeah, it won't be Jeremy Banks.
Yeah.
Banks has a great story.
Even though he appears to be a different person and appears to be a leader on this football team.
Appears is the key word.
Why would he not be able to go?
Because he appears to be. He's not one yet. So
that wound, although healed, that scar tissue is still relatively fresh. When you put some more miles in between, that in the rearview mirror. Yeah. That's why he shouldn't go.
Yeah, going to Birmingham representing Tennessee, representing your team, is you don't get that by appearing to be the leader or appearing to be the best fit. You gotta know if you're the coaching staff 100%. And so I just think they'll probably go in a different direction.
Well, when I say appears, I'm using appears from what the coaching staff has said publicly about Jeremy Banks this spring, that even though he has not been able to participate, that he's still done a good job of stepping up and leading that linebacker room and trying to become a leader on the defense. Like, I use the word appears because of what they have communicated publicly about the job that Jeremy Banks has done.
Okay. Still,
all right.
Still, I don't think Jeremy Banks will be one of the guys that will go and represent Tennessee. Not at this point.
Well, I think they take like I said, I changed that to Matthew Butler. It would not. Obviously, it sounds like it would surprise both of you, but it would not surprise me if Jeremy Banks went to SEC Media Days to represent Tennessee.
The problem is there's not a lot to choose from because there's not many alphas. There's not leadership the way you want leadership to be. So that's the issue. You want it to be hard because you got a ton of guys and you wish you could take 4 or 5. But there's an issue in the opposite direction where you don't even know if you have 3.
Maybe we can just take 2.
Maybe.
Lastly, before I go, I do want to just say a little, if I could, a little prayer. God, if you listening, please bless these kids who are going to get ready to have life-changing, life-altering for the better situations come into their life. God, please allow, these kids to not make incredibly bad immediate choices like Ferraris. But no, continue to watch over these kids. Definitely, BT, definitely, Big Trey, and Palmer. I wish these guys the best starting tonight. Wherever the chips may fall, we're always going to support these kids. And I'm very encouraged. So thank y'all for the time today, man. Y'all go and be great. Thanks for the conversation, and I'll holler at y'all later.
All right, man. See you. Thank you, man, for the phone call. 865-255-03. When I saw the graphic about SEC Media Days and the coaches schedule, I saw Heupel's name. It was just weird that there was a different name again. Like, it wasn't too long ago when I was down there, and it was Butch Jones. Pruitt was there last 2 years. Didn't have it last year in person, and then now you have Heupel. And that was the first thing that stood out. Not necessarily the order and who's going first, who's going to go behind this coach. It was like, yo, there's another name next to Tennessee. That's what stood out to me. Swain Event, be right back.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. Firms from Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham have stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local law firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. They are our neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Top 100 Barbecue restaurant Dead End BBQ is a no-brainer when you are craving the smoky flavor of quality Q. Dead End makes it easy to enjoy their fantastic menu with online ordering from Chow Now for pickup. Or if you don't feel like leaving the house, then have Dead End BBQ delivered right to your door by Loco Knoxville or Bite Squad. There is no better restaurant in town to enjoy the madness of March with. Cheer on the Vols and the Lady Vols with the best barbecue around. Check them out online at deadendbbq.com. Dead End BBQ. The search is over.
Guys, your health right now is more important than ever. I recommend Low T Center. That's where I get my levels checked. It all starts with the annual wellness exam where they do a comprehensive health assessment exclusively for men, making it quick and easy to take care of your health. And now they offer monitored self-inject at-home testosterone treatment. Most insurance is accepted. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment and make your health a priority. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
It's a new season, which means it's time to rep your team in new ways with gear from Game Time Sidekicks. Rep the Vols with every sip with a new tie-dye tumbler or bottle. They also have a new NFL Players Association product line, so you can support your favorite VFL on Sundays. Want to put your own flair on a tumbler? Game Time Sidekicks has you covered with options to add your own text or even a monogram on the back of your favorite team tumbler. To check out everything that Game Time Sidekicks has to offer, go to GameTimeSidekicks.com. Carry your team with Game Time Sidekicks.
Hour 3 of the Swain Event is brought to you by the Low T Center and lowtcenter.com. Do you know your numbers? Feel like you again. Let us help.
If you're coming to Knoxville and need a place to stay, do yourself a favor and book a room at Hampton Inn Paper Mill, also known as the Hampton on the Hill. This award-winning property is literally in the top 5% of all Hampton Inn properties. The GM, Stephen Lawrence, is a good old local boy who grew up in the business around Knoxville. He and his staff are always available, always willing to help, and will go above and beyond for their guests. The newest Hampton Inn in Knoxville has clean, affordable rooms, flat screens, fridges, and microwaves in every room. Plus, breakfast is included in every rate. Not to mention, there's also a pool and fitness center on site. If it wasn't so close to amazing restaurants, bars, and shopping, you would never want to leave. At only 6 miles from campus, you're still right in where the big orange action is. Go to HamptonInn.com, search Knoxville, and book your room at the Hampton Inn Paper Mill or call 865-693-5400.
If you want to get in on the conversation, call the Iris Networks hotline at 865-200-5503. Grow your business with Iris Networks high-speed fiber internet. IrisNetworksUSA.com.
Hour 3, powered by Low T Center and lowtcenter.com, reinventing men's healthcare. Hiller's giving away a free vacation for you and your family this month with every purchase of a new whole home generator or new HVAC system. Hiller's going to give you a free week-long vacation, and with a purchase of a new tankless water heater, Hiller's going to give you a free weekend-long vacation. Over 400 properties to choose from. Wyndham, Marriott, Hilton, Hyatt, also free gas car for $100. HappyHiller.com for more details. Ben McKee, Jason Swain here, live from the Low T Center studio. Representing your school at SEC Media Days, it's a little different than walking out for a coin toss. You know, you have captains that do that, and that was one of my things I want to do. I want to be able to walk out, do the coin toss, be one of those 4 captains. I want to be a leader on my football team, and hey, I was named the captain, but didn't go to Birmingham. We had a couple guys that I think we had 3 or 4 that went. And we had a ton of guys that were good players, that wound up being captains, and who also could carry themselves in front of a microphone, in front of a camera. And, you know, we follow college football enough. We follow pro sports enough and college sports enough to know sometimes you have really good players who are really good leaders, but they just talking in front of cameras not their specialty. I remember when A.J. Johnson – at a media availability started his sentence off with "shit." Like you're so used to talking, sometimes it just rolls out, and you can't, you don't want that if you are a university. So a couple things that you have to think about if you're a head coach, and you're trying to decide who's going to go to SC Media Days represent your school is, all right, do I want this player to be asked a ton of questions? Am I comfortable with him being asked anything and everything? Remember, Trey Smith didn't go one year. And Trey Smith should have been, right? He represented the school better than anybody. Good player, NFL talent, leads by example. But you didn't take Trey Smith because you didn't want him being asked a bunch of questions about his condition. So you didn't take him. So there's multiple reasons, but there's plenty of time for that to be decided if you are Josh Heupel, and if I'm a player on this football team, man, that's a heck of an experience. I mean, to be on a private jet, you and 2 or 3 other guys, and you dressing up in suits, and you get to go represent an entire university. That's a huge honor. So. players on this team, man. Show the coaches. Show the coaches you can be trusted. Show the coaches that you understand what it means to be a volunteer, that you know how to carry yourself, that you know how to represent the university. Man, it's a heck of an opportunity for your post-playing days, too. Who's that on the line?
Volstorm.
Volstorm, good morning.
Maybe we ought to send Jimmy Holiday or one of the defensive backs over to the Manning Passing Academy.
Why would you do that?
Because we ain't got nobody else to send.
Man, we need to go every academy, every camp, whatever's going on, we need to do it, man.
Say, do you mind if we send the whole team? It's like a leadership exercise.
It's gonna be like Remember the Titans. It's gonna be a trip that brings the team together.
You let one or two stay in the dorms at the passing academy, the rest of the team stays at tents.
Exactly. And don't do what Johnny Manziel did when he was there at the Manning Passing Academy.
I don't even remember what he did.
He got hammered so much that he was like late for the next day.
Oh yeah. Did Tyler Brady do the same thing?
Tyler Bray? I don't know. I just know that Manziel's was a bigger story. It was like headline news.
Well, I'm glad he got his 15 minutes of fame. And I can't believe that Ben gets on here and talks about bad stuff with Antonio Brown and don't mention his boy Ben Roethlisberger.
Show me where Ben Roethlisberger was proved to have done it. Can you hit that?
All you're doing is going off of what Remote Foster said.
Hit the hockey for me.
Don't worry, I'll wait.
Antonio Brown had to settle. I wonder why.
Tennessee had to settle too.
You don't know that Roethlisberger didn't have to settle behind the scenes.
Tennessee settled
Oh,
tie
please.
9.
That would have come out, and you know it.
It might not. You know, some of these corrupt organizations have a way of keeping things out of the press.
Yeah, not in today's society.
Yankees,
It would have
Steelers.
it would have come out once over the last, I don't even know what year that was. What, 10, 15 years ago?
Go ahead, Ben. Give us your T.O. impersonation.
That's my quarterback.
That's my quarterback.
That's my quarterback.
I don't even. I like Ben Roethlisberger, but I don't like him as much as you would think that I like him. And I've communicated that on the show before, I believe. I know I told Swain off the air. I like Ben Roethlisberger, but I don't like him as much as you would think a two-time Super Bowl winner, nearly 2 decades of being the franchise quarterback. I don't like him as much as you would think that I like him.
You liked him when you didn't have him, what was it, last year or the year before that?
Yeah, Mason Rudolph getting hit over the head by Myles Garrett.
Yeah,
He loved him
Doug
then.
Dodgers was out there.
I'm talking about from a personality standpoint. I've always loved Ben Roethlisberger, the football player, but that's kind of where it stopped for me. Like I have favorite athletes growing up: Peyton Manning, Derek Jeter. Like on and off the field, I absolutely adored them as a kid. Like I love Aaron Judge on and off the field because I think he's a good dude, and Ben Roethlisberger until the last year or so, and he's spoken publicly about kind of the progressions he has made as a person and as a man and as a husband. Until recently, I never vibed with Ben Roethlisberger outside of game day like I have my other favorite athletes. I've always loved him as a football player, but just not my type of personality to necessarily like off the field.
Hey, Swain, I want to pick your brain for a second.
Oh, man.
We've got kind of the dichotomy of, like you were talking about these recruiting sites and everything spoiling these announcements for these players. But at the same time, these players are putting out these New York, Times Square photos. They're putting out their top 25 lists. They're, doing all this. Hey, give me all these likes on Twitter. Can you really have it both ways?
Yes. Yes, because it's top 10, it's top 5, it's top 3. It's, like your job is to cover that. Man, your job ain't to be spoiling kids, a kid's announcement. You built this relationship with this kid for 6, 8, 12 months, and you're gonna spoil his moment. I just don't think it's right. And I don't care how much the kid puts out a top 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Unless he puts out top 1, let him have his own moment. That's how I feel.
Well, I can totally understand that, especially coming from somebody who, where the greatest technology when he came out was fax machines, dial up, and Oregon Trail. See you, boy!
Ah, boy, that was a good one. They still doing that, ain't they? They still using the fax machine. This probably was the one thing I agree with Derek Dooley on the most. Is why are we using fax machines still when we can just scan and send it in? Just scan and send it in.
I think it's one of those things where it's just kind of the nostalgia, just kind of it's always been it's turned into like a tradition. I think that's why they still do it.
A what?
A tradition.
A tradition. Tradition.
I know you're not much of a nostalgic person or tradition.
It just don't make any sense.
I'm with you. It doesn't make sense to continue to use the fax machine in 2021, but I believe that's why it's still a thing. Just when you think of I think of fax machines, I think of National Signing Day, and vice versa. I think of National Signing Day, I think of fax machines. So I think it's just kind of a traditional thing now, a nostalgic thing, even though there is better technology.
I think of schools having like the fax cam girl and stuff like that.
Don't disagree there.
Yeah, that's what I think about. And maybe that's why some schools still do it. I don't know, but yeah, man, it's 2021. You don't really need to use that anymore. You don't have to use it anymore. 865-255-03. You can always count on Volstorm. Throw a little bit of shade. It was actually good though. It was a good one, Volstorm. Yeah, I don't care if the players are tweeting out their top 20 and top 10 and enjoying themselves. It's the only time they're going to have this opportunity. Of course, some players can go a little bit over the line and be annoying. I understand that, but I just feel like when that player decides to make an announcement, I think everyone should pause, especially the same organizations that have been calling him and profiting off the player. I just think that's the time to fall back and let that kid have their moment. Your business is surrounded. Your business is basically built on recruiting these young men. At least give them their moment. That's all I'm saying. Let's see here. Oh, got some good recommendations, man. I'm sending kids to Birmingham, or young men. LC Vol says in Hub's article, Danny said the fans are so negative because they're not asking. Hold on. Danny said the fans are so negative because they are not asking for their money and they don't have any skin in the game, and they were going to start asking now. Has he really misread the fans this bad? I didn't see that. I didn't see Danny White say that.
Say that again. I'm sorry. I was reading another message. Oh, I see it right here. Now, Mr. Hubs did drop a second one today.
Is that what LC Vol was referring to? Maybe it's in there.
We dropped it in the middle of the show, and there's a lot of
course,
long, detailed responses, so I've not been able to read it.
Well, LC Vol, tell me exactly what part of the sit down with Danny White that Hubs did, where Danny said the fans were so negative because they're not asking for their money, and they don't have any skin in the game. And I need some help there. Now, I don't think Danny White has said everything right, to be honest. But I don't think he's necessarily wrong. I mean, what other emotion should Tennessee football fans feel besides negativity? So mentioning it once, okay. Text a buddy, okay, once. Ha. But your job is to come here and fix it. And when you fix it, the fans won't be negative. So give the fans something to be positive about. So mentioning it once, cool. Any more than once is like, spend the energy to go find some positivity. Go create positivity. Instead of asking the fans to be positive when they haven't seen anything to be positive about. They don't know everything that's being done behind the scenes. So if you want them to be positive, everything that you do that's positive, why don't you tell them? Maybe they'll start being positive. You lock up Tony Vitello, then you'll see some positivity. So show me what you're talking about there, LC Vol, or point me in the right direction. Your comment that you're referring to. It's in part 2. So it is the part that just released. So no wonder I didn't see it because we're doing the show. So, Ben, can you reference that without giving away too much of the good stuff in the article?
Well, like I said, I have not myself been able to read through the article because it dropped it at 7:30
Is
this
it the
morning.
Is it like the Q&A format on the first one? Can you just go straight to the second answer?
This is the second answer.
Mm-hmm.
The question was, how important is it that the volume of donors increases? And it's not that you are asking the top 5 to 10% for more. How much of it for you is just to increase the number of donors? Danny White said, I think it's really important. One of the things I've noticed as a challenge, and I knew about it coming in, but it's probably a new challenge for me, is some of the negativity of our fan base. I think some of that probably is bred from the fact that in a broad-based way, we are not asking them to be participants. That's what we're going to do now. We have these unbelievably generous leadership-level donors here that have done so much for this place, and I hope they continue to do an awful lot for the future of our athletics department, and I think they will. But we have to get more people in the fold. We have to get more people invested who have skin in the game and are helping us. I think as we do that, obviously financially, those dollars are going to help us invest in our programs, build facilities, and those things, but also having active participants out there in their communities in East Tennessee, throughout the state and around the country, spreading the good word, educating people about the real facts on the challenges we are facing and how we are working to be the Tennessee everyone wants us to be.
I don't have a problem with what he said.
So to recap the particular snippet that we are referencing, one of the things I've noticed as a challenge, and I knew about it coming in, but it's probably a new challenge for me, is some of the negativity of our fan base.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I think some of that probably is bred from the fact that in a broad-based way, we are not asking them to be participants. That's what we're going to do now. We have these unbelievably generous leadership-level donors.
So you do really only have 3 to 4 to 5 guys that spend the most money, and for so long, those have been the guys that have made the decisions. Obviously, they have been the wrong decisions because look where we are. And so when you engage and bring in more people, hopefully they feel like they do have skin in the game and they can talk and their voices can be heard. And it's not just about the 1 or 2 or 3 that seems to could always make the choice. And for the last 10 years, they've gotten it wrong. So I didn't hear that as a slight to the fans. I just heard it as a just straight up truth.
It is a new challenge for him. He's never been at a place that has the type of fan base like a Tennessee.
Yeah, like Danny White is an outsider, right? But that's what we need. Did Danny White say the right things at the beginning for some folks? Probably not. But I don't think we need to find reasons to dislike him. And it kind of feels like we're heading in that direction. I don't think what he said was bad. I don't think it was wrong. Guys, we have negativity in our fan base. That shouldn't hurt anybody's feelings or trigger anybody or make anyone feel a certain type of way. It's true. So he's laying out how he can help that. One of them, and probably the most impactful thing to do, is win. Win and stop giving fans ammunition to be negative about or reasons to be negative. Another part of it, which is what he's detailing, is, man, involving more people than just the 4 or 5. Honestly, this should make people happy because I thought folks were sick and tired of the Haslam's. I thought folks were sick and tired of one other person or another family making all the decisions for everybody. I heard this is good. All right, you're going to include more people? So that means Danny White is going to be telling those guys that, hey, man, you're not going to control me.
Well, and part of the including more people also dates back to one of his responses from the first Q&A that Brent Hubbs put out yesterday morning, in that Danny White talked about in order to get the athletic facilities to where it needs to be, and when he says that, he's talking about all athletic facilities. So to be able for Tennessee to get to a point to where Neyland Stadium, the renovations can be the best of the best. The football facility can be the best of the best. The baseball facility can be the best of the best, to where you don't have to pick what you do when you do it. You can do it all at the same time. In order to be able to do that and not have to pick amongst the sports, you have to have a ginormous fund that you can reach into. You have to have a big pool of money that you can reach in and grab from. And in order to increase that budget, in order to have a budget that allows you to have the best of the best facilities amongst the entire athletic program, you have to have one of the best budgets in all of college athletics. And part of reaching that, part of getting to one of the biggest budgets in all of college athletics, isn't simply relying on the top donors, the top 5 to 10% that have continually contributed and gifted money to Tennessee. That involves reaching out and involving other people. And that is what Danny White, in my opinion, is referencing. And as we joke about all the time on the show, Swain jokes about it, I joke about it, listeners joke about it. We always joke about Tennessee being bad the last decade, but still being willing to call and ask for money. And we joke about our response when we see that 865 number coming from campus. We always joke about that. So that's where I think Danny White is speaking about the negativity, is that there is negativity met when he wants to expand the budget to be able to expand the facilities of the athletic program as a whole. When they're making these phone calls to try to expand the pool of donors, it's being met with negativity, like we joke about on the show all the time.
I wish Danny White would just come out and say it, and I'm kind of reading in between the lines what he's saying too is it's hard to ask for money when you're not winning. Like it's hard to ask for money when folks are not happy with the product. It really is. And it's not his fault that what happened before. The way the fans may or may not feel has nothing to do with Danny White. He just got here. But he knows what has to take place. When you look at the landscape of college athletics, we think we have these awesome facilities, and yeah, they look good, but we're jumbled up with a bunch of other schools and a bunch of other programs. It used to be Tennessee had the top of the top.
They were separated from the rest.
It's not the case anymore.
No.
It's not the case anymore at all. And so, like, I didn't see that as being bad or anything like that. I thought it was pretty honest, pretty spot on.
I think Volstorm sums it up perfectly on the text box. I completely agree with Volstorm here. Read between the lines. He wants more donors and more money.
Of course.
Problem is, there's no reason to do it, and that's where he's met with negativity, and that's not a Danny White problem. And, like, you also don't blame the fans for feeling the way that they do when Tennessee's calling for money over the last decade. I guarantee you Danny White understands that as well. Danny White is not a dumb man. He is a very smart man. He understands why fans are apprehensive to just open up their pockets and give when, as LC Vol on the text box points out, that Tennessee has sucked since he was 12, and he's 30 now. 30 years old, and Tennessee hasn't been good since he was 12.
That's BS. That's 18
That is a little drastic. But the point still remains that, I mean, you talk about it all the time. My experience at Tennessee compared to your experience at Tennessee. And even your experience at Tennessee is vastly different than the experience Volstorm had running around campus in the 90s. So I think Volstorm summed it up great.
Well, here's what Danny White has to do.
He wants more donors and money. What's the problem with that?
Here's what Danny White has to do. Here's his first test. He got to take care of Tony Vitello. Like, I see comments all the time on Twitter like, this same old, inept administration. I'm like,
it's not the same
what
administration.
What are you talking about? This administration is new. What have they done to show you that they were inept?
Nothing.
So folks are just they're used to saying that because it has been inept for so long. Chancellor Plowman and Danny White wouldn't even hear it, but Chancellor Plowman and Randy Boyd's really first test was how they handled Jeremy Pruitt. That was the first test. And to me, they passed it. I thought they handled it well. And now the next test, as far as administration, is how you handle Tony Vitello. You can say another test was how they handled the coaching search. All right, they didn't go out and pull freaking Dan Mullen or James Franklin, but you didn't have Dave Doran publicly telling you no. You didn't have media members saying that, oh, Braum is going to be the head coach, only to be not the head coach. You didn't have everybody in America telling Tennessee no publicly. You went out, you conducted the coaching search. It was quiet for the most part, and then you hired Josh Heupel. Considering what Tennessee football has been the last couple of years, you brought in a guy that at least has proven that he can run a football program for 3 years. You brought in a guy that at least is a master on one side of the football and has developed talent at the quarterback position probably better than anybody. At least you got that.
Mm-hmm.
So when I see the comments about inept administration, bad administration, I'm like, where's the L's that they've taken since taking over? Because all they've done is try to clean up a bunch of mess that was pushed aside by people in front of them. You don't look at the numbers as far as diversity at the University of Tennessee and how poor they are. You don't get there overnight. You don't fall below Alabama when it comes to diversity overnight. That means people before them have pushed it to the side for so long. And now they're here to have to clean it up. So this administration hasn't done anything to me that warrant calling them inept.
Maybe a comment here or there by
but
Danny White, but that's not even worth calling them inept. And to me, like those comments from Danny White that kind of make you say, huh, A, they're not over the top. B, it was right when he got here. And to me, that was a sign of him maybe not necessarily understanding the full scope of the situation. If we want to nitpick, it's a comment here or there, and like I'm sorry, I'm going to give him grace for saying it in his introductory press conference when he has not been able to make the rounds and meet all the people that he needs to meet. Like, to me, he makes those comments without fully understanding the situation as a whole. I guarantee you 100 days later, he's not making those same comments.
The only thing I would ding him on is saying it twice.
That's fair.
But the first time, he's spot on. He ain't wrong. Like,
you just can't say it,
like,
I guess.
We got to put our egos to the side. We have to be open-minded. We have to understand there's a reason why Tennessee was not able to pull a proven head coach from another place. We do realize that. It's a reason. It's a reason. And it's not totally our fault. We've been kind of motivated by some of the previous inept decisions. But, yes, toxic. We can't dispute that. It's why some coaches said no. It's toxic. Don't fight it. Embrace it.
Or change it.
Embrace it and change it.
And part of that falls on Tennessee to win.
Embrace it. You have to. But it's not wrong. Guys, the local paper tweeted out that our former quarterback threw an interception in his first spring game. Who in the F cares? Who's doing that in other places? So, yeah, the environment is toxic. It is, and it is negative. But Danny White, when given opportunities, he has to make the right decisions to earn the trust of fans. And here's one right here in his face. And that is, you have a coach that is winning, that's built it from nothing, and he needs support. He needs to be taken care of, and that's Tony Vitello. You've inherited Rick Barnes. You've inherited a tennis team that's won a SC championship. The only thing you've had to do is hire a head coach. Everything else looks pretty good. But here's the first test for Danny White. He has to pass it, but he has to earn trust. That trust ain't gonna be just given to him just because he's Danny White, just because his daddy is an awesome AD or was an awesome AD. He has to understand that too. He has to earn trust from Tennessee fans, and Tennessee fans need to lower their guard a little bit too and understand that what Danny White's saying ain't wrong either. I was talking to a former player that was like, man, I just had to get up off Twitter, man. I just had to get up off that. It was just too much. I just get off. I was talking to him up in the box. I just had to get off. It was too much. And I explained to him, I was like, man, they're not necessarily mad at you. They're just mad at the outcome. And, dude, they've been so upset for so many years. And so you kind of get the brunt of it. Don't take it personal. Like, I had to, talk him down a little bit. It's like, don't take it personal, man. You folks just upset. It ain't necessarily, it ain't you, man. It's not like you dropped the ball that, was going to win the game. All right, let's go to the phone. Jay, good morning.
Swain, good morning.
What's up?
Hey, ain't you?
What'd you say?
I said you preaching this morning, ain't you?
I mean,
you telling the truth though. You telling the truth.
Am I off? I don't know, man. Let me know.
No, you're not, bro. You're not at all. I'm not on Twitter anymore. I haven't been for a while. But look, Twitter in general is a negative place. It's a toxic place. People just want to come there to argue, but man, Vol Twitter is something else. And those people, I'm not saying everyone, but the majority feeling, the general feeling that I got from quote unquote Vol Twitter, they take pride in being negative. They take pride in cussing you out. They think it's like a badge of honor. They take pride in just being destructive. I mean, some of the stuff that I see these people say and how they'll attack people and sports writers and, even players, that maybe leave or players that don't commit there. I mean, I've seen some stuff, and it ain't just one or two, man. It's like a swarm of bees. They'll swarm you, and it's like they take pride in it. They say Vol Twitter's undefeated. No, they're not. I believe they've caused more harm than good, in my opinion, from what I've seen. And I know there's some really good UT fans on there, but I mean, you can't say that they're not destructive. I mean, when you see some of the stuff, and it's constant, man, and they'll just swarm you like a pack of bees.
Here's the reality, Jay, and I appreciate the phone call because we up against it, Jay.
Yeah.
But we're in a point with our football program, and I think Danny White and his team and this coach staff understand this. From everyone that I've talked to, they understand this. There may be someone I haven't talked to that don't, but everyone I've talked to understand this. We're at a point where it's not going to be you fix it. Let me know when you fix it, then I'll jump on board. It's we got to fix it. And we got to fix it the right way. And the small things matter. The details matter. There's no shortcuts. And I think you got to ask yourself, do you want to make a point, or do you want to make a difference? Do you want to have a hot take that people agree with and, oh, yeah, man, that's a good point, even though it might not be true? Man, the administration is terrible. They just got here, man. How they're terrible. Do you want to make a point, or do you want to make a difference? And the difference can be different for everybody. I think Danny White's opening up for more people to make a difference by not just saying, all right, these 5 boosters are they're the only one that matters. Because it's going to take more than just 5 boosters to make a difference. They're around. I heard 2 of them was at a scrimmage not too long ago. They still around. I was actually surprised. But this ain't just a 1, 2, 3, 4 booster mess that can be cleaned up with those same boosters, man. This mess has to be cleaned up with everybody. With everybody. And it includes everybody, man. So you can recognize how poorly things have been before while still looking at the new administration and giving them a chance, letting you guard down a little bit. I don't think Danny White has done anything to not like him. I don't get that butt hurt over someone when someone says something that I may not agree with. I don't go from, oh man, I don't like what you said, I don't like you anymore. I don't go there, man. It's gonna take a lot for me not to like you. Like, Ben, you say stuff all the time I don't like. At least 7 to 8 times a day. Maybe even more. But to not like somebody, man, you gotta do a lot, man, for me not to like you. I have no problem with what Danny White said. He knows what needs to be done. But here's a way that you can prove to the fans that you can be trusted. That you're not just some, AD that's just looking for a paycheck. And take care of Tony Vitello. Keep doing things the right way. The small things. And the fans they'll catch on. They'll catch on. When Danny White is saying it needs to be done, he's absolutely right. But he's going to have to make sure that the action matches his words. And if he does that, then I think fans will start start engaging. He'll get what he wants. So you got to meet halfway. It's a two-way street. It's not you do this and then I'll get up. Once you do this, no, it's let's meet together. And that's what's going to happen. Or, hey, man, we can just keep fighting to compete with Vanderbilt, Missouri, and Kentucky. If that's what we want, then change nothing. Nothing changes. But I can't wait to read the rest of that article, man. Good thing I know somebody that can give me access to that article. Good thing I know somebody. Ben, let me get that password, man, so I can see that article.
It's a good thing you like everything that comes out of Austin Price's mouth.
Yeah. Austin is a man. Me and Hub's tight though. We got history. For Ben McKee, I'm Jason Swain. Swain Event fueled by Dead End BBQ. Have a great day. Peace and love.
For a replay of each day's Swain Event TV, like us on Facebook.